Welcome back to Team Fat Kid Choose the Fat. It is our very first Live Music Monday. I am Jason.
I am Alex.
I am Dennis. I'm Dooley.
And today we have with us...
Hey, I'm Vince Kornegay.
Yay.
Yay.
All right,
Thank God. Wait, thank God. Dooley hit the round of applause. I feel like we need another round of applause just for Dooley hitting the round of applause.
We marked it on a sheet.
Yeah. No. See, I'm a working musician. I'm not used to applause, so you ain't got to worry about adding that on my account.
Well, if you notice, Vince, you can't hear it anyway. So.
Nice. Yeah, I'm used to that, so I'm good.
Jesus. All right. So, welcome, Vince. Welcome to our very first. You are the very first guest on. This is a very new topic for us. Live Music Monday with Team Fat Kid Choose the Fat. How have you been, man?
Man, I'm pretty good, man. This has just been a crazy time. Just like with everybody. I mean, everybody else has been stuck in the house. I normally work 3 jobs anyway, so it's kind of crazy to have 3 jobs, and they're all competing for the same 8 hours in a day now. You know, it was at the school. You know, you had your designated 8 hours there. Then I worked at the church, and then you had gigs. But then it was like, all right, well, everybody's stuck in the house, and everybody wants to teleconference, everybody wants to Zoom, have meetings. It's like, hey, can we do this now? I'm like, yes.
Do I have to put on pants?
I tend to. If you go back and look at any of the videos, I'm always fully clothed. But, you know, it's more of a convenience thing. But everything's good, man. But it's been crazy. You know, my wife was still working. And I have 2 boys, Logan and Dylan, 9 and 5. And so to have them in the house trying to do their schooling and trying to work 3 jobs from home and then do everything else, it was just crazy. So, I mean, it's good. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's been doing well. But, you know, after a while, you know, the walls start looking back at you and the kids are fighting over each other over Paw Patrol and stuff like that. So it kind of becomes this thing like, look, just go sit down somewhere.
Have you been on a podcast before? I don't want to get too distracted, but you nailed like every detail that we probably would have been like, hey, how old are your kids? Like you kind of covered it all in one shot. That was pretty good there,
No,
sir.
man, I just watch a lot of TV and see how you guys do. You know?
So, we've known each other a long time.
Very long time.
I mean, most of us at this table have known you for several years.
Yes. Yeah.
So, how long have you been doing the live gig thing, man? Like playing live? How many years has it been?
Oh, brother, it has been around 11 years playing bars and restaurants and things like that. It actually started out kind of funny because I lost my job and I was about to get married. I'm like, dude, it sucks. You can't be getting married and have no job. So I called up a buddy of mine, Derek Smith. He's from the band Family Tree, if you guys have ever heard of that. I called him up and I was like, hey, man, do you know anybody that's looking for new talent? And he was like, yeah, let me make some calls. So he called up a guy, and the guy called me back like the next day. And he was like, yeah, so Derek tells me you're looking for a gig. And I was like, yeah, and I'm trying to play it off cool. I'm like, yeah, you know, I got you, you know. He's like, well, I've got something in 2 weeks. I was like, well, you know, I told him I've got something in 2 weeks. Just trying to buy myself some time to learn music.
Let me check my schedule.
Yeah, I was like, let me check my schedule, you know. I was like, well, I've got something in 2 weeks. And he's like, well, I got something open Friday. I was like, well, I'm open Friday now. And it was Wednesday when he called me. So I had 36 hours to learn 3.5 hours worth of music to do at a restaurant gig. Ooh. So it was crazy. Like I did it like if you ever watch the Blues Brothers, They tell the story about how they would practice their music. They'd get a song, they'd take the record, put it on, they'd practice it twice. If they didn't, they just broke the record and threw it away and said, we're not doing that. I didn't break anything personally myself. But I was like, all right, if I can't get it done in 2 takes, that's it. I'm not doing it. So that's kind of how I did, man. I just put together like 3.5 hours of it. And then the guy was like, you didn't suck. I was like, okay, good. That's, you know, I mean, that's the end goal. That's what you want.
How did you manage that in such a short period of time? Now, all right, you're obviously an experienced guitar player. I'm assuming you can read sheet music.
I can.
What did you use? Sheet music? Did you use tablature? Did you go by ear? For those of you that don't know, tablature is like the
little number code.
It is.
It's like
it is a number code
that writes
of
out everywhere your fingers are supposed to go.
What fret your fingers should be on. It's kind of like a beginner experience. But in learning something in a short period of time, obviously, if it's a G chord, you know what a G chord is.
Right.
But, is that something you use? Like, how did you manage to do it in 36 hours? Are you good enough to just go through and be like, yo, I can hear it and I can play it?
Oh, no, definitely not. Definitely not that.
Get that on film, that's right.
No, right. He's going to try and get me all gassed up right here. He's going to use this on me later on. No, what happened, honestly, man, like, I did it with the quickest approach possible. I went with songs that I'm like, okay, I've heard this enough. I think I could play this. So then I took those songs. I'm like, all right, what do I know well enough in my head, like 80% of the song, that I could just try and run through it a couple times and get it done. So, I mean, you went with your basic stuff, like, you know, your some of your Otis Redding songs and stuff like that. However, this formula did not work out perfectly. There was a couple songs I was like, yo, I got this. I remember I tried a Dave Matthews song that was just horrible. I mean, it was horrible to try.
Did you make it through the song?
Bro, I did, because you had to. I mean,
I mean, you could stop and be like, you know what, I'm not.
But what was the song?
The song was Stay, Wasting Time. Okay. It was a great song. I absolutely love it. But, I mean, I tried it. I was like, okay, I think I could do this. You know, in my mind, when you're sitting up in your room with nobody around, you're like, oh, yeah, this sounds great. Then you get in front of people and you're like, oh, this sucks. This is horrible.
so, like, what is going through your mind at the time? Like, when you're like, oh, my God, I've made a horrible decision. Like, but you can't stop. Like, now you're just owning it? Like,
you can't. You have to just stick. You got to stay with the lie. You got to stay with the lie the entire time. You got to
fake it till you make it.
You absolutely do. When you are just doing your first gig out in front of people like that, and people are giving you a amount of money to perform in front of people, you can't just be like, nah, dog, I'm good with that. We'll try that one again later. I was like, yo, I only have this number of songs. You got to play all of them. So I was like, all right, we're just going to keep going. So the parts that you know you're going to suck at, when you just kind of play those lighter than you do everything else.
You guys are drunk, you won't notice. It's fine.
Yeah, I won't know. But, you know, you put a little facial expression on them, you know.
Did you play Freebird?
I did not. I didn't start playing Freebird for many years.
Yeah.
And I'm glad
it took a really long time to get Vince to play Freebird.
Oh, dude, you guys have no idea how much Freebird is annoying.
Oh, I believe it. I completely believe it.
Vince and I have had this conversation already, but I just want, like, for everyone listening. Like,
right, let me tell you how I address Freebird when I go out and play gigs. I always tell them up front. I said, look, Freebird starts at $20. And for every person that asks for Freebird, it goes up $10. I said that helps me weed out those folks that just want to yell out Freebird, and those that actually want to hear it.
Here's $20. Well, fuck. All right.
One time I was at Waterside and some guy came in, and I knew I was in trouble.
Inside stage?
The inside stage,
right.
Yes. I was in the inside Market Street stage, and it was like a wedding party came in. They all had suits in. They're like young 20-something guys, and I was like, dang.
Oh, shit.
I was like, man, my night just went worse. Because you know they always come in having problems. You know, they always got something going on. So I'm on stage, and the guy's like, Freebird! And I was like, so I explained my rule to him. And then he thought he got me, so he took a 20 out of his pocket. He pops it out right in front of me. He clicks it a couple times. He's like, And I was like, all right, well, bring it over here. So he gives me the $20 bill, and I looked at him. I said, look, this is what we call a win-win situation. I get $20, and you get Freebird. And then he stood there like, dang. I didn't think about that. He's like, I thought I had him. And I was like, go on back to your seat, bro. And then I did Freebird.
Freebird's coming up. It's in the queue.
Yeah, so I did it. But yeah, Freebird is one of those songs, man. It's not a bad song.
It's so everyone.
Yeah.
It's the song that everyone knows.
When did that start?
I don't know.
People just yelling Freebird from the crowd. Like,
I don't even know, but it's gotten to the point that, like, I'll load my gear into the venue. And, like, I'm pulling gear in from my car, and somebody yells out, Freebird! I'm like, bro, I haven't even set up yet.
Yeah.
Like, wait.
What's really funny is, like, I want to know how many people actually want to hear Freebird versus how many people just yell it, and then, like, just like you said, like, yeah, I got $20, you get to hear Freebird. And he was like, well, fuck. Like, wait, I just
paid $20
Yeah, I just wanted to make you play a song. I didn't realize I was actually going to hear Freebird.
How long is Freebird?
It's like 6 minutes.
Freebird is like 3 days long, I think.
Do you play the entire thing, or do you?
I do not. For those who don't know, who've never seen me, and judging by the attendance at my shows, it's most of you. If you've never seen me play live,
hey, I've watched you on camera multiple times from the office.
Alex watches from a distance.
Yes.
I'll watch on camera while I'm at the bar.
Right. That's true. Jason will sit at the bar watching me and be on Facebook watching it while I'm live streaming, and I'm like, "What, bro? I'm right here."
Because I'm sending it to people.
I get it. That's love. That's support. I forgot where we were going with the question. How long?
Freebird.
Yeah, how long it takes. So when I stand up there and play it, I'm a one-man band. So I've got like 8 instruments on stage with me when I do it. So I loop it and I keep going along. So it feels like the whole song because it goes on for about 2 or 3 days. But
no, we do not need it.
In reality, my version is like 3 minutes long. Why do people yell Freebird?
Exactly. He pulled it up. Like, apparently it started
in Georgia.
Concert in Atlanta, Georgia in 1976.
Well, thank the Lord for Georgia, I guess.
Presidential inaugural ball? Really?
Somebody yelled at an inauguration? What?
Yeah.
All right, first off, I just want to know, did they play it? Because if Freebird got played at a presidential inaugural
ball,
ball,
Leonard Skinner at the inaugural. First off, like there's something. Georgia.
Yeah.
That's all I can
Yeah.
say.
Right?
I just
That's
feel like
Georgia.
I would vote for that president.
All right, so we are jumping around, but like
We are.
Vince brought up a couple things, and I want to ask him
Okay.
that relate to like things he had brought up. Okay, so where was your first gig where you were murdering
where-
Dave Matthews?
Where I bombed, it was at a place, it doesn't exist anymore, but it's called the Flagship in Portsmouth.
Okay,
I remember that place.
Yeah, it was a great place, great food. Alan Parker was the owner, and was a great guy. Took care of me, booked me my first couple gigs. He's probably hearing this if he's listening to it now. He probably heard this wasn't my first professional gig, but I did play in like churches and coffee houses and stuff before. But it was real small time stuff right before that. Nobody was paying me a substantial amount of money to go out and play music, and rightly so, given the fact that the gig came out the way it did the first time.
You were all right.
I was okay. I mean, clearly they booked me again, but I mean, so it was in Portsmouth. It was a good spot, and thankfully I had a lot of friends and family that came out to support that first time, and so it made it a little easier. You know, Flagship. It was a good spot. It was a good regular spot until they closed, and I was like, dang.
you were mentioning that like you're the one man band, and like I mean, I love when you like put like the whole kit together.
Yeah, thank you.
How many instruments can you actually play?
Yes.
Well, yes. Like, all right. So, like, how many instruments? Like, your face. Like,
Vince,
do you
we
play?
can test this. I want you to know I have like 9 instruments in my attic, and I will bring them here. Like,
I'm gonna tell you this:
can-
I'm not gonna play an instrument that's been in somebody's attic. I don't even like know how long that's been.
How many do you play like fluently? Or I guess is
Okay.
that the right word? And then like,
Fluent.
how many can you get by?
Okay, so fluent is different than what I have technical ability to do. So in college, I took classes to learn how to teach people to play other stuff. So I had to actually play those instruments myself. So I have the technical ability to play like all of the brass instruments.
Oh, really?
If I just picked one up right now, could I play a tuba? I could make some sounds.
How about a trombone?
Julie, go get the tuba.
Go get the tuba.
How about a trombone?
Trombone, that one is actually a lot harder because
Yeah.
I didn't get a whole lot of practice time on that one.
Okay.
But because they don't have like, they have fixed positions
Yeah.
that you play the slide to get the note.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't play it long enough to memorize exactly where that was.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say I used to play trombone. That's why.
So I've done it. I mean, I've done it, and I
Yeah.
did enough to pass the class.
Go ahead.
But-
No, I'm gonna leave it. Okay.
But fluent, we'll stick with fluent right now because that's a much smaller answer. There's guitar, bass, keyboard, harmonica. I'm quasi fluent in ukulele. I'm fluent adjacent, I guess you can call it. I'm working on that one.
You say keyboard like piano.
Yeah, like I'm piano, you know. And then when I say keyboard, it's just kind of like a blanket term where you can use like electric keyboards or pianos, you know.
No
stuff like
drums?
this. I do. I'm okay. I'm okay. Like if your drummer had a heart attack at the show, and you're like, hey, is there a drummer in the house? Like, I can get you through the gig, but it's not gonna be amazing. You know, you're never gonna see me sold out in concert playing drums.
Never gonna do the double bass going
Oh
on.
no! I definitely don't have the skill set for that. But it was like if somebody
That
dropped
shit
out.
wears you out quick.
Oh man, that's crazy! Like, and you know, I got endurance for about 15 minutes, so I definitely can't play drums for.
What about the
Two, 3 hour
guitar?
show.
The keytar? I've never done the keytar. I would actually go and buy one just to do it, but I got to slow down on that. See, the reality is, I have so much stuff at the house that I'm not actually played yet.
How about a double neck? Have you fucked around
I have
with a
not.
double neck?
I have not. See, that's just too much. Like, it's too much to carry around. And
It is a
and
big ass guitar.
It
I
is.
mean,
It's huge. And then, you know, again, it doesn't have like the frets. Like, you got to figure out where it is, and I ain't got time for all that. You know, I need it delivered to me. But as far as fluid instruments, I'd say there's probably about 7 or so that I'm pretty good at that. You know, I can make noise with, and people aren't like, boo, Freebird, Freebird.
All right, well, we'll swing this back into topic here.
Oh.
What's your favorite place to play?
Oh, no, see, you trying to get me fired. No, see, no, that doesn't work.
Or a raise? I mean, I
Or a
guess it
raise.
depends on how you look at
Well,
it.
I mean, I would have to say Finn McCool's in Kimsville. My absolute favorite place.
Keep in mind, I'm not there anymore, so sucking
Oh.
up to Finn McCool's isn't helping you.
Well, I didn't know that. Well, see-
Yeah.
The producer's still there.
Oh, well, let me say this. Okay, so, and this is the truth, though. This is the truth, though. So every venue has a highlight for some reason, and every place stands out to you for a specific reason. You know, I've got places that I go that the staff is absolutely amazing, and the crowd may suck, but the staff is awesome. So I love playing there. Some places, the crowd is amazing, and the staff sucks. You can't tell them that, but
You want to.
you want to tell them like, dude, everybody here sucks, but
So
the crowd is so fun.
that leads into a good question, because I actually had a two-parter to this almost, and it's the question in its simplest form is, what was the most memorable show that you've had? But that could also break down to, like, again, does it come down to the crowd? Like, were you playing at Waterside and, like, everybody was chanting along? Is it just, like, a big crowd thing? Or was it something that, like, the staff did one time? Did you have a heckler and, like, the staff was like, yo, no, we're not dealing with this. Like, you gotta get out. Like, is it like a comedy show? You know what I mean? Like, what was your most memorable show?
So probably my most memorable show, I'll have to say, and it sounds funny because I was actually just there, was the show at Waterside. When I first got the gig at Waterside, what happened was, and this is just taking you back, so Dooley, if you want to put in the transition, you can put that in there. But what happens is, if you've been in the area for a long time, you remember Waterside back when it was a bunch of shops and things like that.
I worked there, hell yeah.
Oh, so back in, how old are you?
Man, old enough, 32.
You might have been 7 when that thing happened.
I worked at Blackfin back in the day.
Okay.
Bottom floor, right next to Hooters, let me tell you.
Okay, now this
nice.
is long before all of that stuff. This was like craft shops and stuff like that in Waterside. This was
they still had, like, the jewelry shops and stuff upstairs.
So this was back then. So I was like 5 or 7, something like real young. And I remember walking around Waterside, and I saw some guy playing music in the food court. And I was like, man, that's really awesome that he gets a chance to just play music and just have fun. And this was long before I even thought about being a musician. But I was like, man, that's so cool. And so fast forward about 25 years, and then I'm getting booked to play there. Like, so that was, to me, kind of one of the more memorable ones, if you're talking about just the feel of it. Plus, Waterside just has great people that come through there. When you have so many people that come into a room, the percentage of people that will like your music goes up exponentially. I mean, there's no chance that somebody doesn't like what you're doing when you have a very mixed and eclectic crowd. If you play to one place and they have a very designated clientele, you're throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing what sticks. You're hoping somebody likes something. But when you have a room that's packed out with 400 people, there's going to be people that like it. Now, if you're talking about what's my most memorable heckling experience,
Hey, I'll take that too.
all right. There was one time, I was about to say it was about Freebird, but it wasn't. So I was at a place that will not be named on the radio here, but I was at a venue, and I could tell this guy was going to be trouble again, because it was a group of 20-something-year-old guys. And when they're all just hanging out together, there's something about the testosterone in the air that's like, yo, we run this place. And so I'm playing a song, and the guy was like, what about some Nickelback?
Oh.
And I thought he was joking. No offense to the Nickelback fans out there. I'm not.
None taken.
All 2 of you.
I'm not trying to hurt both of your feelings.
So who's the other one? I got one.
Alex is a Nickelback fan, and then for the other person out there listening to the podcast, so the guy was like, "Yeah, Nickelback," and I was like, I thought he was joking, so I was like, "Sorry," I said, I don't have that one. I said, I'd be glad to play anything else for you. And I thought that was the end of it. Normally hecklers just throw one out there just so they can be heard. So I'm playing, and I get done the next song, and he's like, Nickelback! And I was like, this guy's for real.
So he is the other fan.
He is the other fan.
We found him, if you're listening.
So I'm sitting there, and he yelled out Nickelback again. I was like, all right, sir, I really don't have it. I said, but yeah, let's give it up for Canadian pop rock. Yeah. So I figured, if you laugh about it, let's move on, right? So I play the next song. And this guy's sitting there, and I can see him mouth the words to his buddy. That's not Nickelback. And I was like, all right, here we go. So I get done the next song, and he's like, that's not Nickelback. I said, look, man, do I come to your job and order a Big Mac when I know you only sell tacos? No. I said, don't come to my job and tell me how to do mine. I said, I've seen where you work, and I know what you do. Leave me alone. He was like, screw you. I said, screw me? I said, I'll tell you what. I said, Jamie, do me a favor. Get this man another apple martini.
Oh.
I remember this story.
The whole place shut down. Even his boys were like, ooh. So he got burned, and I didn't hear a word from him for the rest of the night. So this is a side note. So that was my favorite heckling moment, because I try and treat hecklers like a comedy routine, in a comedy club. If you go in there and a heckler starts up, you either address it and get rid of it, or you lose the room. Okay? So I laugh about it. I usually give them a freebie, you know what I'm saying? Just let them have that. But then secondly, if they try and come back, I'm like, all right, I'm going to show you why
I'm on the stage and
why
you're not.
I'm on the stage with a microphone. And I always try to remind people, I'm like, look, I haven't always worked for the church, okay? Don't get it twisted. I had another life long before this. Sometimes it comes out. I don't like it to come out. I'm just saying, sometimes I get pushed to that limit. So going back to the dude with the Nickelback story, I was playing at another venue. This was probably a year and a half after that. And I told that same exact story like I told you guys right now. And then the guys were like, some guys were over there by the bar, and he was like, that was you? And I was like, hold up. I said, hold up, dog. I don't even like how this is going. I was like, because I don't know if y'all sound like y'all going to walk over here and jump me. He's like, no, that was our friend. We were there with him that night. He's like, I laughed. The homeboy said, he hasn't talked to us since. He said, they haven't talked to us since because we didn't have his back on that. And I was like, sorry, bro. I was
That is fantastic.
I was like, he was being a tool, so I
they're
called him
Nickelback
out.
fans, you know, he would have had some, you know,
If I
company,
had some
so.
Nickelback, he'd been fine. But so he was like, yo, man, he hasn't talked to us since that night. And I was like, well, sorry, bro. He's like, look, man, we want to book you for a party that we're having, and we're going to invite him to come to it. So, yes, that is my favorite heckling story because it just developed into so much more.
Did you play the party?
I did not. They never called me about the party.
Oh, man. That's real. I
that
was really
sucks.
hoping dude would have
Yeah,
showed up to
right.
the party. You know,
Bro, I wish it would have. I mean,
Yeah,
it would have been the
If it
greatest
would have
moment.
panned out.
Oh, if it would have worked out that he
I
showed
think
up.
you should have showed up with a Nickelback song.
Oh, no.
Just a T-shirt, and never played the song.
Right? Wait, do they actually make T-shirts for
photograph.
Nickelback?
I mean, I'll make him one if he does.
I'm sure there's somebody with a cricket machine somewhere that's making Nickelback shirts on demand. But you know.
Alex, you got one yet?
Maybe. Don't worry about it.
No.
So while we're on the subject of artists,
No, artists.
Yeah,
which one do you think has influenced you the most in your play style?
Oh, okay. So if we're talking about just straight up artists that influenced me, hands down, the man himself, Ray Charles, the greatest of all
Nice.
time. Okay. Now, in my style and in my playing, there's a bunch of influences. The very first person that I ever heard that I was like, yo, I want to emulate that was David Ruffin from The Temptations. I remember watching the Temptations miniseries that came out, and I was like, man, I love the energy in his voice and passion. Like, it felt like he meant every word that he sang. And I was like, I want to sing like that. So I started singing, and I quickly realized I didn't sound like that. But I tried. You know, you try and you fail. You get back up and try again. Well, then years ago, after Ray passed away, I remember seeing the movie. And I'd never really known much about Ray Charles, but Jamie Foxx was in the movie. I was like, hey, let's go do it. You know. But then I started realizing all the stuff that Ray had done, all the music that was his, songs that I've known my entire life. I never linked back to him. And then seeing what he did for music. You know, if you look at the fact that in those times, he put out a country and western album. What black artist in that time put out a country and western album and killed it? Everybody owned that album. So his voice and his music spoke to millions of people all over the world. And so I was immediately drawn into Ray. And then from that, it just kind of developed into, I discovered Otis Redding. Not discovered Aretha, but I started getting into Aretha's music. Sam Cooke, Wilson Pickett, different soul legends that just kind of I picked and choose from what I wanted to sound like. But if you listen to my playing style and other things, there's people from like I take from Dave Matthews. I try to anyway. I wish I could take his bank account, but like I steal some from Dave. I take from Latin music. I take from anything that I'm like, yo, I feel that. I feel what they're doing, and I try and put into mine. A couple of white artists too. A couple of Caucasian artists.
Well, Dave Matthews is white.
Is he?
Yeah,
Is he?
maybe.
Does he get a pass?
He's
Does he get a pass?
I think he gets a pass in some things. He gets a pass. He gets one.
South African, isn't he?
Huh?
He's from South Africa, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's still Caucasian, kind of.
look, Dave gets a pass. We're gonna just put that down right there. Gavel down. Dave gets a pass. But no, being all serious,
We're taking him.
We're taking him.
Everyone put out your guess.
Look, I wouldn't fight you over Dave, but I mean, if we got him, if the delegation took him, you know, we got his pictures up there. I mean, well, that's what he looks like. Yeah, apparently. Wow. Yeah,
He looks like somebody's dad
you would definitely.
or uncle.
Drunk uncle.
Yeah, the drunk uncle.
That part I believe,
That is-
but I do believe it's not alcohol though.
That yes, that
Especially
one
that
in
one right
particular.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
how you doing?
drunk uncle right there. Yep.
He's got the people's eyebrow.
He is. He's kind of rocking that Dwayne Johnson look right there.
That was all right. So,
But yeah, so I kind of steal from everybody, man. But I mean, that's what artists do. They influence the next generation, and so I kind of steal from everybody.
well, speaking of stealing from everybody and influencing the next generation, you wanna play one of your first songs here?
Ooh, okay, let's do that.
Let's what do we call it? What's it called? Like, you want to give us a little background on it?
I will. This first one, this is actually a song that I wrote for my then girlfriend, now wife. Her name is Ashley, and I wrote
Hi,
this.
Ashley.
That's Jason thing, hi, babe. This song, actually, I wrote on our first Valentine together. And I did it not just because of love, but because I was broke. I had no money. I mean, dude, that's what you got to do sometimes. So I did it because I was broke, and I was like, well, I want to get her a gift that meant something. Well, the whole thing came about because we were actually talking early on in our dating relationship. We knew we were going to get married at this point. We knew we were going to get married. And so we sat down and we said, all right, babe, so after we get married, if one of us were to die before the other, do we want the other to remarry? And I told her, well, I'll tell her answer first. She told me that she wanted me to go ahead and remarry. And I was like, well, that's cool. That's pretty decent of you. So I told her I strictly forbade her from ever remarrying. I was like, well, babe, it's really unfair to the other guy that, after you've, been with the best, you get with the rest. But this whole discussion came about really just because I was like, man, so if I were to go first, how would I want to be remembered? Would it be for the guy that I tried to be, or would it be because of the guy I ended up being sometimes? And, we all understand that, some of us in here are married, and you just understand what it's like. You try and do your best. You try and be the man that she wants you to be, or that you're intended to be, and it just doesn't happen sometimes. So this song is called Remember. So here we go. Pictures of many days, seeing you smile, running through my mind. Laughter rings when I touch your face. I wish I could make this last forever. You remember me long after I've been gone so long. Just like I remember you. All of the many things prayed for so long. Your body, your mind, your heart forgot. When I said I loved you, said I mean it until forever. You remember me long after I've been gone so long. Remember me, just like I remember you. When the sun goes down, on the many days I live, will my name be enough? Will you just like I remember you. You remember me. Long after I've been gone so long, you remember me. Just like I remember you. 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 Thank you.
Wow.
Now, I believe that was an original, correct?
That
Yeah.
was one of
I
mine.
would say that's the first time I've heard that one.
Is there a place where people can find your original music?
Yes, I am currently selling CDs. You can get them after any show from the trunk of my car. We usually congregate behind Burger King after the gig. Usually,
BK Lounge, baby.
Are you a Big Mac fan? Like, what's the...
actually, their onion rings are pretty banging. I know that sounds ridiculous to say that, but
Hey,
it's like,
hey.
dude, their onion rings are pretty killer. No, seriously, actually, right now, man, I don't have anything recorded and out for sale. I mess around with the idea of putting together an album every 10 years or so, but I just never get around to it. So
I mean, did you ever think about like recording and then like putting it on iTunes for purchase, like individual tracks?
yes and no. The big thing comes down to being able to dedicate that time to studio time and really recording, getting it mixed, the finances behind everything. And with being married, having 2 kids, working 3 jobs, that's
You're not busy.
not at all.
No.
I got nothing going on in my schedule. But
Wide open.
But outside of working, man, you try and keep the family high on the list of things, and recording has always just come as a
Back page.
not priority in life. I'd love to do it, but at the same time, man, I'm just having fun doing the music and putting it out there. And
Personal question.
Yeah.
Because you obviously have a lot of recording equipment.
I do.
Now, maybe not to the extent of, like, I'm not sure about, like, a soundboard or what you carry around with you. Now, I know you play at churches. And I'm sure that you probably have access to said churches. Is it, like, could you record at the church using, like, maybe their soundboard and their equipment? Is that...
so I actually have the equipment at home. I mean, with the advancements in technology right now, I mean, anybody with a credit card can go have a home studio.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
No, not at all.
This does not refer to anybody in this room. But
Does this count as a home studio? It's in the garage. I mean, like...
it's at
It's a
somebody's
garage
home.
band, baby. We're a garage band.
It's at somebody's
That's
home.
right,
But man, with the advancements in technology right now, it's everybody can do it. So I actually have some recording equipment at home. But when I say that time is the factor, it's making sure you sit down. You can record and not have little kids running around the house screaming, because
Agreed.
that's nothing kills the groove of a track more than it's my turn to play Fortnite.
Or like when you're trying to record and then someone starts calling your cell phone,
Yes, stuff
and then
like
you
that.
decline it, and they call you right back, and it's the producer.
Oh, well, I mean,
Like she doesn't know what's going on right now.
I've never experienced that one personally. But yeah, to really put out a quality product, man, if I had some designated time to just sit down and do it, I would love to put together a couple tracks, nothing crazy, enough that, like, I wrote that one for my wife, girlfriend then, but now wife. And my kids, they joked about one time they wanted me to write them a song. So I don't want to sit down and write a quality one, record all this stuff, put it out. But it's just time. That's all, So I mean, I could go piece together some stuff. But if I'm going to sell it or I'm going to put it out for people, I want it to be of a certain quality going out.
I agree with that.
So that's where I'm at.
I don't know why I agree with that. We don't even edit this, but,
That's because it's so high quality up front.
That's right. So we're gonna swing topics
Yeah,
here.
we're gonna switch some gears on
Jason,
you.
you want to throw that one out there?
Ooh.
Yeah, because I've known you a long time, and we've had conversations outside of music.
Yeah.
So I did want to, just tap into the Vince Kornegay.
Ooh.
All right.
I don't even know if I like the sound of that.
That was a little weird, especially for the lead-in here.
Yeah,
I know what's
but-
coming, and that was still a weird lead-in.
But because I know him, I'm okay with the way that was phrased.
We're gonna make it weird. Like no. Okay. So are you a DC or Marvel guy?
I am. See, you're gonna get me called out here.
Okay. So here we go.
By preference, I am a DC person.
Nothing wrong with that, sir.
No, I absolutely don't. I don't
No one's talking to you, Dennis.
I'm a huge Superman fan.
Same here.
Okay, so big Superman fan. However, I do have to concede that Marvel has us on the movie front.
But not on TV shows.
Not on TV shows. We make better TV shows and cartoons. Marvel has got us in movies, which, unfortunately, that's the side of the industry that people really care about. So my boys always dog me because like I'm such a big DC fan, but then like we get like Green Lantern.
I will say, I feel like DC makes better video games.
See, I'm not a video game person, so I'm not so much into that.
Batman has been killing it for fucking years.
Now,
we
we did get Batman. I feel like that gets overlooked a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we got the Batman trilogy.
Best Batman actor. Go.
Oh,
you're judged now, brother.
I know, right? That's okay. So
As long as it's not Clooney, you're good.
I have my own theory about Clooney. Now, if I had to say it, I gotta go with Christian Bale.
That's
Really?
mine.
I gotta go with
Really?
Christian Bale. Here's my
Okay.
thought process with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I do agree to the idea that he has the benefit of modern technology and the knowledge of what others had and went wrong to improve upon it. Like even the fact that he argued to get the suit changed so he could turn his neck.
Yeah.
Like that's something Michael Keaton
I'm glad
didn't
you
have.
know that neat detail, by the way.
I told you
Like,
I'm a
that
big
was- that
nerd,
was
man.
a
Big
thing.
big comic nerd. But yeah, like Christian Bale, like in the first movie, the head didn't turn.
Right.
If you watch the second one, they even made the joke about him being able to turn his head.
Yeah.
But that was because none of them were able to move. Keaton, Clooney, none of them could turn their heads. So they actually argued to get the suit made so that he could move, so you didn't have to turn like a board every time.
Now, I do have a question on that,
Yep.
Nick, though, because I am a big Christian Bale fan as Batman as well, but do you think some of that had to do with the villains he was up against? Because,
No.
all right,
Because it was Dark Knight series,
let's face it, the Penguin,
Right.
that was obviously Christian Bale didn't face the Penguin, but the Penguin was a very odd character, and I think for the time, it worked out very well.
Okay, I'm going to say
Just
this.
like Arnold
You're
Schwarzenegger.
talking about
as,
Keaton. You're talking about
yeah.
Michael Keaton
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
Danny
Yeah, yeah,
DeVito
yeah.
as the Penguin.
Yeah.
I
Now,
mean,
I'm going to say
like-
this, and I'm going to catch grief. But y'all can come find me if you want, okay?
Okay.
Batman.
Your shows are listed, sir. We know where you're at.
Batman Returns was the second one, right?
Yes,
That movie was straight trash.
it was.
Okay, it was trash.
Was that the
It
one?
was.
Was that the one with Jim Carrey as the Riddler?
No, that was
No,
the third one.
that was
Which
the third
actually,
one.
that was Batman
And Robin.
Yeah,
that was
no
a joke.
Batman
That was-
Forever. Batman
Batman
Forever
Forever.
was the third
Yeah.
one. Second one was straight trash. Okay, Danny DeVito, not an effective villain. He had the hype for the role. Okay, but nothing about that movie worked.
What you
No.
trying to say,
Well,
Vince?
Christopher Walken wasn't bad.
What?
Christopher Walken was
Christopher
eccentric.
Walken.
Yeah,
I
he was
mean,
Christopher
yeah.
Walken. Like I don't even think he knew he was acting in the movie. he just showed up to set and he was Christopher Walken. Like
That sounds about right.
but okay, so we'll take the common denominator: Keaton and Nicholson,
Yeah.
Bale and Ledger, Batman and Joker, both cases. Okay. The original Batman, 1989, was a great movie. It was awesome. That still lives on in infamy right now. People still talk about that one.
The VHS case
What's
when it
this
was
shit?
just the
Yeah.
black box.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it just had the Batman. Like the name wasn't on it. It
Yeah.
just had the Batman logo. That's
yeah.
it.
So that movie was so influential in movie culture. Excuse me. But if you look at the Heath Ledger one, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
dude, he killed it.
Yeah,
Now-
where the fuck did that monster go?
Dude, he went to a dark place in his life to pull that role out. But having said that, overall, the movies were better because of the time and experience that they had with it. Keaton was a good Batman, but he wasn't believable to me as like Batman. Like he wasn't believable. He played it well, and I'll say this: I know,
He's a better Bruce Wayne.
yeah, okay.
Isn't
Now-
he supposed to play Bruce Wayne in the whatever
And,
movie is coming?
he's actually going to be playing Bruce Wayne in the next Batman movie.
yeah, like the Flashpoint ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty psyched about Flashpoint for comic nerds who aren't.
The only thing I'm scared
following this.
about is Robert Pattinson. as Batman.
Yeah, I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm like, that's just ignorant.
I'm undecided as of yet.
I think.
You a Twilight fan over there?
When it gets
I'm
to
not necessarily a
Batman,
Twilight fan.
when it gets to Batman, I believe that it has a lot to do with the chin.
Yeah.
in who they're gonna cast for it, and like what does your chin look like
Gotta
in the
have a
suit?
strong chin, bro.
Well,
I'm more worried about the voice.
I'm worried about the actor.
Well, I
That's my problem.
mean, they're
with it.
kind of connected.
I
Chin,
kinda-
voice, actor.
Dude,
Like,
I feel like
I
you
hope
can
they're
do a
not
lot with
separate.
CGI, but I mean, so my problem with it is
he's
this.
not gonna
All
twinkle.
right. Now, Vince.
It's a
You
good
don't
thing.
know that.
You're right. I don't. Twinkling Batman would be a whole new thing.
All right, now, Vince. Okay.
We're LGBTQ
You said
friendly.
No, I'm sorry, but okay, because you said you talking about the like for DC and everything, because we got the movies, we got
Yeah,
the TV shows, and we got the cartoons and everything. Now, here is the question for you.
Yeah.
All right, who was the best Joker? A. Jack Nicholson, B. Heath Ledger, or C. Mark Hamill?
Man, I got my answer hands down. That's just no question.
No. See, if you watch the cartoons and everything, you understand why I'm asking this
I
question.
completely
Right,
understand.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I have not seen the cartoons.
Yes.
So
I watched all of them.
The
Yeah.
Hamill,
All
the
right.
Hamill reference, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mark Hamill was the voice of the
the
Joker
Joker.
in the Batman.
Keep in mind, Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
I
Luke
know who
Skywalker.
he is.
So he was the voice in Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
I've
Which
seen
was-
that.
which was
I did
great.
not know that
Yeah,
it was.
right.
Right,
that was-
Okay.
you'd never know by listening to him. But he did such an impactful performance in that he continued that voice role up until recently.
Yeah.
He's been doing that in different incarnations of that character just on the strength of his voice acting alone.
Especially
Okay.
in the Killing Joke.
Yeah. So he did so much amazing work with that. But I'm going to have to take him off the table. Okay?
Okay.
Because it was only one half of the performance.
I got you.
No visual, just
Right.
voice.
Now, his voice, his laugh, like,
Oh, he nailed it.
amazing.
Oh,
He
that-
nailed it.
Yeah, he put work into that. But I got to take him off the table because he didn't have both aspects of it. If I had to choose between Nicholson and Ledger,
You better be careful. I'll fight you.
you're
You're
gonna,
gonna
at the-
lose.
at the
But
same time,
that's later on in the question.
I'm going to piss somebody off with
Well,
this
at
answer.
the same time, they're both totally different Jokers too.
They are.
Right.
They are.
They are. Right.
And then
one
one's
was
a graphic
more
novel.
of the like psychopath, and then one was more of the anarchist.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're looking at two different things. But if I had to put them on the table, I'd have to go Nicholson for this reason. Because we were able to see two sides of his character.
Yeah.
You saw him before it happened, you saw it after. That's dynamic range there. Now, Ledger put on a heck of a Joker performance and killed it.
All right, we'll fight later.
We'll fight later. That's fine. I love it. I wish he had not taken his own life because selfishly, I wanted to see him
Yeah.
in another movie.
Right,
oh, yes.
I would have loved to have seen him redo that movie and do it a second time because it was so impactful.
I got a question. Do
Yeah.
you think if Ledger was still alive, he would have done the new Joker movie that Joaquin Phoenix was in?
No, because I
I-
think they would have kept the franchises separate.
Yeah, I don't think they
Okay.
would have crossed that
Yeah.
either.
Yeah. No, I think
That was a different aspect
Yeah.
of the Joker. Like that was a completely
'cause that-
different view of
Yeah.
what the
It
Joker
was
is.
giving you like it's
The
like the origins,
backstory,
the
yeah.
origins.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that and also because like, the Dark Knight series, that was a graphic novel series.
Yeah.
that wasn't really the comic books or like movie set and everything. That was actually just graphic novels.
Okay,
Right.
so
That's why it was so dark.
in this part now what is your favorite? I'm going to use comic book movie as the genre. What out of all of them, what is your favorite one that you've watched?
favorite comic book movie. It's gonna sound cliche, but man, Endgame. I mean,
No, I mean you
Bruh,
can't
I mean,
argue. That's a great.
it was so good.
There was
I mean,
so much going on. Dude.
There was so much. Like I watched it. I very rarely ever go to the movies to see something twice. Like in the theater, I'll go twice. I went twice. The first time I didn't even take my kids because I was like I can't be bothered. With
I understand
that.
that. I understand that totally.
We're gonna-
I need some me time.
We're gonna touch on that in a second.
Yeah,
so
for real.
continue.
But getting back to it, so I went and saw it twice, man. But the fact that they put everything together and they had so many characters in there and they all had a little bit of time at least, like that fighting sequence.
Oh,
that's,
God.
I mean, that's amazing. You could have built
bigger
the
than
movie.
Helm's Deep.
Yeah. So that right there, that was great. Now, if we took the $2 billion movie out of the equation,
Yeah,
favorite superhero movie,
might be judged.
I might be judged on
Might
this.
be judged.
No, you will be, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
I would go with.
Better pick a good one. We might agree with you.
I bet he's gonna say Superman.
No, I can't say that's
no.
my favorite.
Richard Donner cut? Come on, man.
No, listen, bro. I got to
You're,
say,
you're complicating shit. Let
I'm
him pick
sorry.
one.
my favorite was probably Iron Man.
Ooh,
Okay.
the original?
The original.
First one?
First one with Downey. Because the expectations were so low. Like,
Truth.
You have a. Because at that time, who knew Iron Man, honestly? Outside of
Shellhead.
Conan?
I gotta say, they picked the perfect fucking person
Oh,
to
yeah.
play that part, though.
His life story alone made it amazing.
That's like Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Like, they picked the perfect fucking person to play those roles.
Oh, yeah.
like,
If you want somebody crazy on camera, you call Johnny Depp.
hey,
Damn right, especially if you got Tim Burton fucking there.
Right. If you ever want to play somebody crazy on screen, or you're like, man, who in the world are we going to get to do this? That's Johnny Depp. Okay. But getting back to Downey, so because the expectation was so low, outside of Iron Man, you knew it was a comic book character.
Yeah.
But you're like, man, they're going to do a guy flying around in a big metal suit. How are they going to pull that off? And that was before we knew Marvel was Marvel.
Yeah.
Dude, they killed
that
that
was like
movie.
that was the original Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Really. I mean,
Well, it wasn't the original.
I know,
but
but
it was what
it
kicked off the
started the
universe.
phase. It started the phase.
It kicked off the Marvel universe, which was, I mean, undeniably. I mean, how many billions of dollars have they made?
Like,
off
would
this?
you? Okay, so like talking about kicking off Marvel Universe. Do
Yeah.
you think when they made Iron Man
Yeah.
that they had Endgame in their mind, or do you think that's something that kind of just it evolved that way?
So you obviously know that they thought about the universe because of that end scene with Nick Fury. Okay,
Yeah.
so Sam Jackson coming on camera. Clearly, they had some idea that they wanted to do an entire universe. Do I think when they, in 2006 or 7, when they started pre-producing this movie, did they actually think that they were going to do $2-point-something billion in Endgame? No. I don't think they were there. I think they had a general idea, but they hadn't even discussed I don't even think the words Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3 were even part of their lexicon at that time. So I think they
Big
said...
words, sir.
Thank you.
I-
I did go to school for this stuff.
I knew that if we brought up the superheroes, that we could get him to just talk like naturally.
I just love lexicon. I mean, he broke out. You know, I'll give that a $5 word.
That's right. Don't
know,
let the
that's-
goofy shoes and the cartoon shirts fool you. I'm pretty good. But yeah, so I don't think that they had that in mind. I think they started developing that stuff. But I mean, you start looking at how that stuff came along. Other than Thor: Dark World, I mean, they pretty much got their footing under them pretty quick with that entire universe. And I think they didn't know, but they started saying, "Yo, there's some money in this." I think their ultimate idea was the Avengers first, first movie. But then they're like, "Yo, this is really taking off." Then they saw how much Avengers was like at least $1 billion.
Yeah.
Jamie, pull up that footage. Oh, that's another podcast.
Oh, he's about to.
Dooley can definitely make that happen.
Like,
Give
that
it-
was
give it-
that was the first time he was
Give it a full minute. He's a little slow, but by the time you're finished with your sentence, he'll have it done.
$1.519 billion.
I mean, that's crazy. Once they got to Avengers and they put everybody on camera, they're like, "Yo, what can we do with all of this?"
I just want to say, I love how Dennis said it and not Dooley. I just
Yeah, Dooley got there.
look.
he got
No,
there,
I'm not
yeah.
giving him credit for shit.
Oh, now he's working for extra credit. He pulled up Avengers 2 box office.
1.4.
He-
All right, so real quick,
Yeah.
because we're still on the subject of
Superhero
comic movies.
Yeah.
How do you feel about R-rated comic movies?
Like what they did with Deadpool, and what's the new one coming out that's going to be R-rated? Dennis, you got that one?
Come on, stats.
I know, right?
The new one that's coming out is going to be R-rated. God, I can't remember.
Either way, let's start with
Okay.
Deadpool. I mean, like, I know you have kids,
Yes.
so again, now we're getting into comic book theories and
Oh, yeah, so then-
children, and like, what are your thoughts on
Oh
Deadpool
yeah, they're definitely
in
not
particular?
there. They're definitely not there for that.
At what point would you allow them to go see that? Because again, it is a comic book movie, but you got some
we have different
themes and words
Oh yeah,
that are.
I definitely don't think 9 is the appropriate age for that.
I'm with you. 5 is definitely
Yes.
way short.
now,
so I mean,
he's definitely not ready for that.
look, when he gets on the school bus, it's already fucking over. So he can learn cuss words at that point. But I mean,
So the way I look at it, because we all have different parenting philosophies, each parent will know. Like each parent's going to know when it's right time for their kid. Like I don't want my kid watching it because I'm not trying to take their innocence from them. Like that's just too much from them. We have certain, even some of these comic book cartoons that we show them. They're like, okay, we'll get a little bit more into the mythology of who these characters are. But then there's like, man, there's so much going on in these. I can't show him to that because I don't want him exposed to that stuff this early in life.
so what age
I don't have a specific number because he'd have to continue to develop. I mean, maybe his teenage years. I mean, it could be 13, could be 14, could be 15. I mean, I don't know. It all depends on how that kid. I look at my oldest, Logan. He is a absolute sweetheart of a kid, and to look at the innocence in his eyes and on his face, you don't want to ruin that by putting Deadpool in front of him.
Okay, so Deadpool's kind of a rough example.
Right.
Granted. But let's say, all right, I have an example.
Okay.
9's still a little young.
Okay.
So let's say your son is 14.
Okay.
They come out with an R-rated Wolverine movie. Now, granted, I think there would be less cussing and more gore in a Wolverine movie. Like, what, at 14, would you allow your son to go see that? Like, what's the determining factor there?
The determining factor is, like...
None of us are parents. That's why we're going to probe these
That's why we're shooting them at you.
I'm getting all the parental questions in here. It all depends on, I guess, how the kid... and I'm going to pick Logan, for example, my son. Can he understand the themes in the movie? Can he understand that, this is...
context?
Yeah, it's like, okay, these are make-believe characters. Those people that Wolverine slashed up into little itty-bitty pieces got up after the director said cut. They went on, they did their thing, they spent their per diem for the day, they ate lunch, they came back for the shooting the next day. Can he understand that things that they say and do in those movies, we don't promote in our household as socially acceptable means? Would I want him to get mad at somebody and then be like, and then, take somebody else? No, I definitely, I don't want him to understand that. But if my kid is at a point where he developmentally understands, this is a movie.
Right.
This is play. And what they say and do doesn't affect me, or my actions, I should say. Then yes, we can have that discussion. We can take him to go see it. Right now, my son is like a sponge. He takes up everything around him. Kids will go around. He'll hear something out in public. He's like, "Daddy, that was a bad word." Well, he's not ready for that yet because, like, even in regular TV shows now, they're putting in language in everyday use. So, can you shield him from everything? No, because some shows are going to throw it in there because it's acceptable by their rating standards. So now he's not ready for that. 14, if he can understand that, they can go do that stuff and that's fine. I can still behave and act how I was raised. Yeah, he can go see whatever he wants. Not whatever he wants, but I mean, within those restraints,
Well, speaking of whatever he wants, what's your favorite movie of all time?
All time.
Yeah, now we're gonna make you make a hard choice.
We're broadening the spectrum.
It's only gonna get harder from here, sir.
Oh man, bro! If this is the level of questions of difficulty, and you're asking me about movies, this is not gonna be the hardest thing ever.
This is the last one
so
in the
you,
movie.
so you,
Like,
wait,
fire,
so
like
you
a
have one
motherfucker right
picked
there.
off and ready to go?
Like if I said favorite movie of all time, it's actually a tie.
Oh, all right.
What you got?
I'll take it.
Rocky 2 or Rocky 4.
Oh,
Ooh.
shit! Both Rockies, I love it.
I mean, you can't beat the idea of the underdog story.
I was like on your I think it's your Facebook page or whatever. Like you have the Rocky quote.
Yeah.
Like right there, like in.
Bro, I have a tattoo on my arm.
Damn! I did not know
Bro, I've
that.
got
I love the commitment. I love the commitment.
For those,
Hold on,
for those that
let's go
aren't
back.
on
Let's
camera,
go,
I just
let's
want
go.
to see this.
Yeah, like-
That's commitment. Me putting a Rocky quote on my arm is not nearly the level of commitment.
It's still there.
Putting
It's
the
still
branding
there, sir.
of your own podcast
It's still
and
there, sir.
franchise. Wow. Okay.
I love my business. What can I say?
That's awesome, man. But the idea of Rocky, man, like he was never super talented as a fighter, but it was all heart. It was all determination. It was all,
I'm gonna run these stairs.
yeah, I'm going to go after it. So it's that underdog, I believe in myself thing. If you look at it, in none of those movies was he ever the best fighter. He got dropped more than anybody else. He's got brain damage because of that stuff. But it was the fact that he kept going after it. He pursued it. He did it he followed a moral code. He had a reason he was doing stuff. Plus, the training montages are just ridiculous.
They are. They're good.
the music,
Yeah.
back in the 80s, man, they had the best montages.
Oh, bro, if you put on... Can we do that on this? I don't know if we can. I don't know. If I can hum it, I don't
Like,
know.
yeah.
So-
All right,
really
hum
do
it. Hum it. Go for it. You know what? It'll be faster.
So, either way, you can't put that stuff on there without thinking you can go work out. Dude, you hear that stuff, and then you just want to go fight a grizzly bear or something. You're like, I think I can do it.
And then what was it? The Eye of the Tiger,
Yeah.
right? From Survivor.
Oh, yeah.
Like, did they, okay, first off, maybe you know. I
Okay.
don't know. Did they write that for the movie, or was it already a song and then they took it for the movie?
Okay, so I'm glad you asked that. And you can check my facts on this.
Totally will.
Eye of the Tiger was actually supposed to be used in The Karate Kid.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
They shot it down, and then who's the guy? I don't know the guys from Survivor's name. We'll just call him Jimmy. Okay.
Yeah, Survivor.
So we'll call the guy from Survivor. He told this story. He said he came home one day and then he gets on. He turns on his answering machine. And for those of you younger viewers, an answering machine was a device that we kind of used to record somebody when they weren't home and you couldn't carry your landline phone with you. So if somebody needed to reach you.
What?
I know, it's crazy.
What? Wait.
So what they would
We
do?
have one on the table.
You have one here.
Yeah, we have a phone on the table.
next to the Dunkaroos. Oh, the phone. Yeah.
Look,
oh,
that you cannot
knock
take
the
with you.
Dunkaroo.
oh.
Hey,
We do
so-
have a landline.
If you guys,
You know how-
Google landline phones, you realize you could not take them with you. So sometimes when it necessitated for you to leave the house, you had to be able to not be reached. So this guy from Survivor, he was out and he came home and he turned on his answer machine and the guy was like, hey, yo, this is Sly. It's like, I'm just calling, she's like, I like your song. I want to use it in my movie. And he's like, what?
No shit.
And
So
he's
they
like-
got it on an answering machine.
Yeah, he got it on an answer machine. The guy called
They
him back.
still had the tape in it.
Yeah. So he called the guy who was like, yeah, all right, man, that's a good joke. Like, he thought it was his buddy. He thought it was his buddy calling him and playing him a prank, saying he was Sly Stallone, calling him at his house about his song. And he's like, no, this is really Sly. He's like, I like your song. I like your band. I like, can we use it in my new Rocky movie? And he's like, get out of here. And it turns out, obviously, like, since Karate Kid shot it down, it was available for Rocky 3, and the rest is history.
So, like, going back to Rocky 1, right? Like, Stallone, like, bankrolled that movie, right?
He
Yeah.
didn't bankroll the movie. Basically,
But, like, he like-
wrote it. He wrote it after watching Muhammad Ali and Chuck Wepner, I believe it was. He went home, wrote this amazing story about, determination and everything, and he shopped it around. And Sly tells this story too about how he had sold off all of his furniture.
His dog,
He
right?
sold his dog. The butt kiss actually from the movie was his dog. So he sold the dog to eat. And so when he went to the studio and said,
Quote, real fast, he did get the dog back.
yes, yeah,
It was more like a loan.
yeah.
He pawned it.
Well, he didn't know he was getting the dog back, but he went out there and said, all right, look, I'm going to sell my dog. So he brought the movie to the studio and said, hey, we want to do this movie. And they're like, nah. They're like, well, we'll give you this because we're thinking like Robert Redford to do the movie. And he's like, no, this is me. I want to do it. He's like, well, we'll give you this much more money. And then they kept going up with the dollar amount that they wanted to give him to sell the story to them. And he really just believed that much in himself that he could do this, that he held out. And then finally they were
He's like, dude, I did porn to get here.
I don't know if
The
that was his
Italian
selling
style.
point.
Well, I mean, he did.
He
If it
did.
works, it works. All right. I mean,
Kitty and the Stud or something
I
like
do
that?
not know the movie.
I'm sorry, man.
And why do you know that? Like
Rocky fan, baby.
Wikipedia is a movie.
Alex
So-
is going to your search history.
So, so he ended up doing it for like this ridiculously small amount of money at the time, and they said, all right, look, we're only giving you, it was like $1 or $2 million to do the entire movie, and you've only got this long to do it. And so they were doing all of this stuff. They tried to cram everything in, get it done as quickly as possible. Carl Weathers came in, and he's auditioning for the role, and he's doing it with Sly, and he's like, look, guys, I could do the movie, I could do this audition better if I had a real actor. Could you bring in the guy that's going to be doing Rocky? And Sly was like, hey, this is me.
Oh shit!
Like, he's like, oh, I didn't know it was actually you. So they really didn't have any kind of real budget for this thing, and they did it. And they also tell the story, too. You remember the scene where right before the fight, him and Adrian are laying in the bed, and he's like, hey, well, I can't do this. She's like, do what? He's like, I can't beat him. That one they were actually going to cut from the movie because they were over budget. So they came to him and they said, all right, look, we'll do this, but you got to do it in one take. Anything else, we're cutting it from the movie. And they delivered that in one take, and it's one of the most iconic scenes in the movie because he realizes that he doesn't have the skill to do it, but all he wants to do is get to the finish line.
But like most people don't realize that Rocky 1 lost.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Apollo beat his ass.
Yeah.
It's like when you think of the whole Rocky story, it's like, oh no, he wins in the end, but no,
in the end,
in the first
He
one,
won love.
Yeah, and the first one he
Yeah.
got, Apollo beat his ass.
But yeah, but don't get it wrong. Apollo caught those hands too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
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 It wasn't easy.
Yeah, they both went to the hospital in two.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's phenomenal movies, man. I can go on all day about that.
All right, so now that we've covered some random shit, we're gonna loop back around a little bit
do that.
because it's time for you to play another song. Sir.
Okay, all
And
right.
are you gonna do another original?
I'm actually going to do one more. This is actually from a buddy of mine. His name is Brandon Bauer. He's a
So let's give him some plug and where they can find it.
Brandon actually just recently moved back to Georgia, but you
Damn, he moved.
he did. I know it sucks, man, but
I didn't
dude,
know that either.
They didn't
Either
get
way-
a damn phone call. Nothing.
it was pretty sudden. But he is a phenomenal singer and songwriter.
I mean, outside of you.
No, he-
Outside of you, he would be the one, like, because a lot of times, like, I show up at places solely because you're there.
Oh,
Like, not
Or-
like,
or 'cause your wife was
like,
there.
let's not get it twisted. I'm not driving out of my way. But if you're there and I'm driving past it,
Yeah.
I will
I
stop.
appreciate that.
And but like Brandon Bauer is like one of those others that, like, if I knew he was gonna be there,
Yeah.
like I would like stop by just to check him out.
Yeah.
And just say what's up. I mean, he's super cool. Like,
Brandon's phenomenal
Man.
talent. Like, he's the only guy in the area that has ever punked me out of singing a song.
Nice.
Like, and this is true. Like, I was an ignorant.
well, he's not here anymore.
He's not here now, but he's still his legacy lives on. So I was an ignorant child, so I'd never really ever listened to Prince. Okay, growing up, that just wasn't part of what we did. Okay, so one time I was out here in Brandon, and he sang "Purple Rain," and I was like, "Oh, that's that song everybody was talking about." Okay, so I'm like, "Man, that song is really good. I want to go do that." Then I picked up my guitar and started singing. And I was like, yo, I can't sing that song like that. And so to this day, I hate doing it because every time I do it, I dare to follow in the shadow of Brandon Bauer doing
And it just
Purple Rain.
doesn't add
It's
up.
not the same, dude. It's not the same.
So what are you gonna play today?
So I told him forever ago I was going to steal this song. He wrote this. It's called Rain Pours Down. And I told him I was going to steal it, and I did. So if you guys ever go out and hear him, you're like, man, there was this guy on this podcast that did their song, and he killed it. He did it better than you. Even if you have to lie about it, just go ahead and tell him that. But this is called Rain Pours Down. This is one of his, and phenomenal song. Hope he doesn't mind me doing it. So here we go. You told me you were leaving, but you know I don't listen well. It's not what you thought it would be, but you move on to something else. It's never over until we walk away. It's not enough that I tried to make you stay. So now and then get a little bit lost. Something comes around, you gotta count the cost. Flower never grows without the rain. The rain pours down on me. Ooh, baby, better hold on tight. Train leaving in the wind in sight. Found a one-way ticket to paradise. Ride easy. You said it was forever, and I thought that would never change. It's not that we fell out of love, it's that love out of place. But it's never over until we walk away. I'm not going anywhere, baby, I beg you to stay. Every now and then I get a little bit lost. Something comes around, you gotta count the cost. Flower never blows without the rain. The rain pours down inside. Train living on the wind inside. For the one way to get to paradise. Ride easy. Won't give up. Not tuning in. This is only the beginning. Take my hand and tell me you'll stand next to me. Baby, I'm leaving. Living on living and a little bit lost. Something coming right, I gotta count the cost. Flower never grows without the rain, and the rain pours down on me. Ooh, them got nothing to lose. Even now, one choice to choose. Gotta get on board and give me what you got. And the ride easy, baby. Ooh, them better hold on tight. Straight living in the wind inside. For the one way to get to paradise. Ride easy. Ride easy. Hit some bumps in the road. Ride easy. No, 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 no.
Excellent. We got a round of applause going for you, Vince. And I want to say
appreciate
thank you again for playing for us.
Yeah,
real
round of applause
quick.
going for Vince.
That's right. Real
All right.
quick, we're going to jump to a commercial from our sponsor.
It's an affiliate.
You know, same thing.
Yeah, you know that thing.
All right.
Take a
This podcast is brought to you in affiliation with Stitcher Podcast Radio. Head on over to Stitcher.com/premium and sign up today for only $4.99 a month. Use promo code TeamFatKid for get 1 month absolutely free. Stream and download all your favorite podcasts, such as this one, Team Fat Kid Chews the Fat, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, My Favorite Murder, Wolverine, The Lost Trail, Alex's Favorite, Bitch Sesh. You get the Fantasy Footballers, Science Rules with Bill Nye, and many, many more. We're talking 21,000 premium hours of podcasting. That is 2.4 years. You get all the bonus episodes. You get the ad-free shows. You get Dooley's favorite 300-plus comedy albums. You can check out all the new releases before they come out. And just remember, all you have to do is head on over to Stitcher.com/premium, sign up, and use the promo code TeamFatKid. Test it out for a month, absolutely free on us. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you guys in a little bit.
Vince, fantastic song by Brandon Bauer. Let's
Ooh, crisp and clean, sir. Shift into some food, maybe?
yeah, we're gonna shift into some food because we want to know if you were a sandwich, not a snack, but a sandwich. If you were a
But
sandwich,
for those of at home that have not seen me, trust me, it's a full sandwich.
what sandwich would you be?
Well, now I want to know what snack he's going to be, too. I feel like it's two-part.
Oh well, the snack that's easy. That's one of the Swiss cake rolls, man. That's,
Shit, that
that's easy.
Hashtag
I
Little Debbie,
love-
not a sponsor.
was... I love the quickness.
Should
I
be.
really do. I
Chocolate
love the
and
quickness.
cream together, baby. That's how I roll. Man, if I was a sandwich, I guess Philly cheesesteak. I guess.
Oh.
Bro, you can't go wrong with a
How
Philly
do
cheesesteak.
how do you make a Philly, sir?
All right, so my way
We're
is
gonna
slightly.
definitely gonna jump around a lot
Oh,
because
yeah, no.
now we're into it.
We're into food.
All right,
Right.
so how do you do a Philly?
So I do a Philly based on how my mom does a Philly. My mom grew up outside of Philly, so she's got a variation on it. Okay, so you obviously do your steak. Now, we don't-
Ribeye only, right?
Huh?
Ribeye. It's got to be ribeye.
Yeah, I mean, whatever's
Whoa,
in
whoa,
the store,
whoa. There was a little bit of...
I mean, I'm saying, like,
I mean, steakums count.
Steakums is pretty much how we came up with
meat.
it. See,
Hey,
like, we didn't have,
I grew up on steakums too. Like,
Steakums is shaved ribeye. It's just
No, it's
shitty
not.
shaved ribeye.
It's not even
we
really
came up
meat.
poor, baby. So
I said
you
a
know,
shitty shaved ribeye.
Okay.
so you get
It's
your
that
steak.
plant-based shit.
steakums, not a sponsor.
No, it's not. It's
Thank
real
God.
shit.
Oh, dang man, dang baby, how you gonna break my stuff?
Man,
He didn't like being on video.
Your lens is underneath.
All right. If he comes over to our house and leaves the The nail is broken.
Oh.
We're out.
Hey, we've broken a
For those of you
GoPro
at home,
already.
they broke my materials.
There's nothing. No,
That-
no.
that
You're
man
the
right
one
there.
touching it. You're the one touching it.
Get a zoom in on that face right there. I don't know if you
Apparently,
can,
they
but
didn't
you
like the
should.
idea how the steakums were to be made.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so
All right.
Started talking about plant-based.
All right,
It got
so
out
for
of
real.
hand.
so steakums.
So we got some steakums. You know, that's how we came up. You got to put some seasoning on there. You know, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic. Now the cheese varies depending on your taste. Now I do like white American cheese.
Yes. Give him a round of applause. Give him a round of applause.
Thank you. I do appreciate
Calm
that.
the fuck down, Jason.
Calm down.
Now-
It makes it right.
I do get that.
Are you from Philly? No, you're from
Traditionally,
New
they go
Orleans.
with the cheese whiz.
You're damn right.
Because
Whiz
the nacho
whip.
cheese or whatever.
See, you got to get into that
Whiz
argument.
whip.
But now I give it up to Geno's and Pat's and all those spots up there. They're good with theirs. But my own, I go with white American, ketchup.
How many slices?
Whoa.
How many
I
slices?
know.
We'll get into the ketchup. Trust me. We're
Fight me
gonna.
about it.
You just,
Don't worry. I'm
no.
not.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a fight.
Come at me, bro.
You see what's about to happen. Before we get into that,
With all that we got going on in the country right now, y'all mad about ketchup?
Jason, yes.
one
You don't
person.
put ketchup on steak.
So before we get into
Alright.
ketchup,
Wait. Which one?
I had to
Which
turn the
one?
camera around and make a point.
wait.
Hunts or Heinz?
The
Son
red
of a
one,
bitch.
baby. I don't care.
We're not into ketchup yet.
It's ketchup. Does
We're
it
not
fucking
there.
matter?
How
Yes.
many slices of cheese?
As many as it takes.
I love that answer.
Fat kid, right there.
For real though. I mean, you coat
Get
it.
this man a shirt.
You coat it. Like if I can see the steak, that's not enough cheese.
You know
See?
what? I am with you, sir.
You love them, then you hated them, then you
so-
love them again.
So I worked my way back into it.
Now I am with the fuck you train, sir, and I have to ask, which ketchup? I mean, you went for it. You said ketchup on
It's
a Philly,
ketchup,
and I'm,
bro. It doesn't
It
matter
doesn't matter
which
to me.
one. They all
It really
taste
doesn't
exactly
matter.
the same,
And
and they're all garbage.
I understand you all have a lot more refined palates around here than I do.
Jason doesn't.
We came up in different.
Times.
I was gonna say neighborhoods.
Areas.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say the neighborhoods. So we obviously all
In
came
Philly,
up-
they're not using Kraft anything, so that's New England.
Cream cheese, bitch.
like I said, my mama came up in Philly, so that's one thing. But I came up in like Ahoy Acres. You know what I'm saying?
I don't actually.
You don't.
Yeah, just
Right,
clarify
I get it.
for me, because
Right,
I don't.
Alex does not understand. So
Ahoy Acres. Where's Ahoy Acres?
Ahoy
There's,
Acres
like,
is in Chesapeake, but it's like the forgotten area of Chesapeake.
clearly because I don't know about it. And I lived here my whole life.
It's right. See, it's not this area of Chesapeake. See, you guys think of Chesapeake as like this metropolitan area over here with everybody else. If you go out towards Suffolk, we're that part of Chesapeake that was left out. Why we're still Chesapeake, I don't understand. But yes, I was raised up in Hoy Acres over there next to Holly Cove.
So, like, you're out in the sticks.
It's not the sticks. I mean, it's not like it's a 2-hour drive. I mean, it's just the other part of Chesapeake.
How close is the closest Walmart, sir?
Oh, brother, no, they don't have one out there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
exactly.
that's
You're
the
in the
sticks.
sticks.
It's not the sticks. It's not the sticks, baby.
If
They
you
just-
can't get to Walmart in 30 minutes, you're in the sticks.
I mean, it can be done in 30 minutes. I mean, it's.
Is
all
that
right.
with traffic or without?
I can get to 3 Walmarts in like 10.
Okay, for real. So off of
If not
664,
faster.
off of 664, it would be like exit 13B, and then the closest Walmart would be off of 11B. So it's not hard. You just got to get to the interstate, and
You
you
talking
got to go
about
up.
Greenbrier Walmart?
No. See, past that.
No,
like,
So you talking about
it's
Chesapeake.
Over the bridge?
64.
like closer toward Chesapeake Square Mall.
You're talking about Chesapeake,
Yeah.
though.
Oh,
Getting
no,
to
you're-
the interstate could be like a hike.
I mean, it could be. It's a little challenge sometimes, but. So yeah, we came up differently, eating different steakums, but my Philly cheese is a little different than your Philly cheese, but I feel like under one united roof, we
I feel like Steakums by now should have come out with one that has like jalapenos already built into it.
whoa,
You know what? That would be a
jalapenos.
fucking genius idea.
Whoa, jalapenos.
How have they not gotten there?
Oh, so not a spice fan.
No, I like spice, but that doesn't belong on the Philly cheese.
Have you ever had a little nitro gummy bear?
Steakums is not only meant for Philly cheesesteaks, dude.
Hey, bro, not all of us have money, okay?
Have you ever had a little nitro gummy bear?
I've not had a nitro gummy bear.
Next time you're here,
I think we
Vince,
got to send him one.
Is that a hot challenge?
it may be.
9.
Oh, is that
Maybe.
I just saw
Hey,
that the other day,
The
actually.
9 million Scoville
Oh,
gummy
is
bears.
that? Have y'all done it?
Two of us
Well,
have done
yeah,
it.
Alex and Julie did it. Alex way more successful.
Julie's a pussy.
Oh, whatever. I show emotion, bitch.
Can I get some shots fired, bitch? Move that mouth.
Like now,
you had any
great job,
self-respect,
Alex.
really?
Now Vince's kids can't listen to the podcast. I hope you're happy.
Oh, trust me. I knew when I signed on to come here that they were not going to be listening to this.
I'm pretty sure I've already cussed like 3 or 4 times.
All right.
Yeah.
We're just gonna switch gears.
All right, shifting gears.
No, well, hold on. What bread do you use?
Bread?
Bread on the Philly.
You
Philly.
really
Sorry,
did
I
do
was
a massive switch up
I
there.
was gonna switch gears, but we didn't let him finish because
Okay.
we had so many. So
Giggity.
Yeah.
Hoagie roll, baby.
is
hoagie
it,
roll.
like so? Amorosa is known as the Philly cheesesteak bread,
To y'all.
huh?
To y'all.
What?
To everyone.
Philly.
Everybody from Philly, yeah.
So you grab like some cobblestone.
Bro, I can't answer that question.
You using that great
Bread,
value
baby.
over there.
You walk into the store and you get a hoagie roll, and then you go home, you cut it, you put the food on there, and you eat it. Like,
So is this like
Like
a fresh
from the-
hoagie roll
Yeah,
from like
great
the
value.
deli section
yeah,
type
deli
deal?
section. Yeah.
So you just buy the
Yeah.
fresh bread.
Are you going French?
No.
So you want soft, not
Right,
crunchy?
yeah.
No, I think literally like the
I'm just trying to- literally.
it is an Italian roll. It
Well,
is an
welcome
Italian
to the
roll.
podcast, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's good to be here.
Out of all the places you've played,
Yes.
who has the best food?
There it is.
Yeah, yeah.
There it is. Come on, we're getting hard shit now. These are only gonna get more difficult.
You're allowed to switch us up because there's slash mark because I was smart. Which one has your favorite dish?
Man.
So yeah.
Bro, you're talking about like...
Yeah, we're gonna hurt people's feelings, man. This
You're
is
going to
what
hurt a lot
we
of
do.
feelings. All right, give me 5.
What? No,
five.
No, shit, you get 2, bitch.
This podcast is about to be 3 hours long.
You get
Come on.
2 minutes.
All right, I get 2.
All right,
So
I'll give-
next question. 2 minutes. He's got 2 minutes. He's got to think
I
about.
was going to say 2 minutes. I was going
No,
to get
he's
2
going to
items.
give us 2 dishes. Go.
Oh shit, 2 dishes.
Yeah.
All right.
So first off, I gotta throw it to Wicker's Crab Pot
Okay.
in the Indian
Okay.
River out in Chesapeake.
Can we get an applause? Julie, you suck.
Okay, Wicker's. I played there for like 3 years, and I never really ate. And for those who ever, you guys know I don't really eat on the gig. But I was starving one day, so I went and got some stuff, and I mean, it blew my mind. And that is the place that I play that people ask about the most because of the food. So the food there is amazing. So Wicker's is definitely on the list, and I'm gonna go. This is gonna be off the grid here, but I used to play at a place called 37 North.
Oh, I fucking love that place.
Dude, they used to give me a meal every time I played because I had a rotation or residency, on Thursdays, and they would feed me every night. And I'm talking about, it was just, Eric Nelson was the chef there at the time and did some amazing food.
They were
killed
farm to
it.
table.
Dude,
I mean,
it
like they
wa-
had their own farm out in Pungo. Like that shit was.
Dude.
They were seasonal as fuck, and it was amazing.
Dude, they could have not paid me and just fed me every night, and I would have done it for the quality.
Liar.
Of food. It's true.
Like charcuterie
I did-
was
I did lie
disappointing,
about
but
that.
other than that, like honestly, their food was.
But
was
seriously,
great.
Eric like killed it with that. There was some amazing food there, and I wish I had the picture I could show you now. But he made like this entire burger that was the size of my head, and it was just crazy. Now I think he did it because I was fat, but I don't think he was
Nothing
showing
wrong
off.
with
Man, come on,
You
man.
got mad about the wide angle earlier,
It's true.
sir.
By the way, for those that weren't listening, when I showed up to the podcast today, I sat down there like, oh, let me put the wide angle on. I was like, hold up, dog. How you gonna put the wide angle on? Like, how you gonna actually have a fat man on the Fat Man Show and then gonna put a wide angle on? That's insulting.
While we're talking about the Fat Man Show, do you enjoy cooking?
Yes, I actually do.
So what's your favorite dish to make at home, or is this like a
Like
family
your signature,
dependent thing?
yeah, like your signature, like you're cooking, the family's coming over, like barbecue style. Like what are you throwing down that people like? That's my go-to. This is the one that people want from Vince Kornegay.
I would say chicken parmesan is my go-to.
Is this with pasta?
Yes.
Okay, and
Now I don't do nothing special. I know you guys know a bunch of pastas with a bunch of different words and stuff like that.
look, just add Emi at the end. You're probably
Yeah, right.
fine.
So-
Spaghetti.
So like if I can boil it and put it on a plate, it works for me. Okay, it's what you do with the extra stuff.
They all taste the same.
Right.
this
They're all
sounds
the
like
same.
gnocchi. I'm down.
So I do a chicken parmesan. I don't do it as much because one time I messed up. Okay, I messed up on the chicken, and then my family got on me bad about it. And like
But you got to clarify now.
I undercooked the chicken a little
See,
bit.
that's exactly what I was wondering.
That's
But-
exactly what I was
but-
saying. Like,
now
how do
look.
you fuck up chicken? You undercooked it.
But look, But seriously though, everybody messes up once.
I got-
Y'all all professionals in this room.
Everybody gets one time, but I'm curious, when was your one time?
Oh, this was a couple years ago.
No,
So,
I-
but no. Wait.
What, you want a date and time?
No, I want to know, was this like a holiday?
No, this was just like a
So it was just like a Thursday
yeah,
dinner.
it was just like a day we were gonna have
All
our
right, that
parents
doesn't
come up.
fucking matter.
Yeah.
Like, if you had fucked up on like Thanksgiving,
No, oh, see, I don't mess around with Thanksgiving. You don't. Now, see, y'all needed to try something out on Thanksgiving. I smoked my turkey breast on Thanksgiving.
done it before. I have to admit, smoked turkey is probably my least favorite turkey.
That's because you're doing it wrong.
No, bullshit, bro. I did it for like 3 years. And let me tell you, I did it professionally for 3 years. I don't give a fuck. Smoked turkey is my least favorite.
I think what Alex is trying to articulate.
He worked there with me. I don't give a fuck.
What Alex is trying to articulate is that the skin on a smoked turkey, and like let's be honest, like the
Doesn't get
skin is
crispy at
kind
all,
of
yeah.
It's
the
rough.
Skin, it's kind of chewy, and the skin on a smoked turkey is like the issue here.
Right.
The flavor of the meat and the juiciness of the meat is not what's in question.
I disagree.
But
I don't know.
I'm deep fried. Granted,
I'm
Team
not-
Fat Kid, I'm deep fried turkey
I'm not
all day.
hating. I'm not hating on a smoked turkey. I'm not hating. I'm just saying, out
hate turkey.
of turkey preparations, smoked turkey is my least favorite
I
turkey
mean,
preparation.
everybody's entitled to their opinion, and you're entitled to be wrong. But
Damn,
I
was gonna
love
say
it. Can we get
I'm
shots
right.
fired,
Yes,
bitch? Where you
I
at?
was gonna say it.
I mean,
There you go, Julie.
everybody's constitutionally, invited to be wrong.
Damn,
but
constitutionally, not even just like, humanitarily, it's
No,
all right.
no, no.
No, like, constitutionally, you can say whatever the fuck
I
you
tell
want.
you what, I
but-
tell
Oh,
you
this
what,
is fuck turkey.
Turkey Day 2020.
You know what? Fuck turkey bacon. I
Fuck
mean-
I didn't say nothing about turkey bacon.
Hey, he said Turkey Day 2020.
No, he said fuck turkey. I said fuck turkey bacon. You said you didn't say fuck
See,
turkey. Are you?
I did not
are
say
you,
that.
Are
No.
you pro turkey bacon?
I mean, I'm not down. I'm not
Get the
against
fuck
it.
out. Get the fuck out. Are you sorry?
Let's pack your
look.
shit.
Let's talk about this since we're getting aggressive in this room.
I think
Since-
you got to throw out some sort of challenge.
Since we're getting aggressive in this room, I noticed we got to talk about this. And for those on the podcast, this is Team Fat Kid, right?
Yeah.
All right. How did Alex get here?
Oh,
Alex is 115 pounds.
Holy shit! Wait, Julie fucking got shots fired involved. I just want to say, like, and thank you. I'm way more than 115.
Alex is 115 pounds, 120 with the beard.
Oh,
How did he get to Team Fat Kid?
Shit!
Like I am actually more qualified to be on Team Fat Kid than Alex.
Sir, have you seen me eat?
Have you seen me eat?
Yes.
Brother, look at the brother in the chair in front of you. It looks like I eat.
I comp your meals, sir. I've seen you
comps my
eat.
meals.
I've seen you eat. So
That's
I
all-
mean, have you seen me eat?
I've not seen you eat. That's why
that's-
you're
that's-
115 pounds.
That's the thing. Like,
That's a thing going around right now. When people don't eat and people haven't seen you do it, that's a disease.
but at the same time,
I
no.
love how we were all very civilized when we were talking about comic books, and then once it came to food, it just became a fucking fight.
That's a divisive issue in the country. That's why I came on the south part of the discussion.
what I tell everybody about me is because yes, I look skinny. I'm way more than
He does eat a
115.
shit
Let
ton
me
of
tell
food.
you. But all right. So I'm even gonna bring up a new topic because this is fun. This is a topic
Trying
that
to get away
I
from
feel
that
like
fact.
needs to be discussed.
All right, let's do this.
So I've recently had someone. I've had a girl in my house a lot recently. I got a new girlfriend. So.
Yeah, I heard.
Congratulations.
Yay, round of
I
applause
know
for
her
that.
friend.
Yeah,
I know
her shots
Julie,
fired.
Julie,
I know her friend.
Julie, you suck. So, this came up the other day though, where she wanted to make cinnamon rolls.
Okay.
I don't have cinnamon rolls at the house.
Who does?
Oh, okay.
This one.
I'm not gonna lie. You have kids. That makes sense to me.
We
And
had
I-
this conversation last night.
No, it's because I'm
fucking-
big.
I fucking love cinnamon rolls. But here's the thing. She was like, we can't even make fucking cinnamon rolls. And I was like, bull fucking shit. I have everything we need to make cinnamon rolls. I don't have pre-made cinnamon rolls, but I've got flour, sugar, fucking cinnamon, like
Got
cream.
butter.
What do we? Let's fucking make this happen.
Okay.
And 2 days later, after we made cinnamon rolls from scratch, she
Okay.
was like, you don't even have fucking pancake mix.
Bullshit.
Exactly. I got a big ass bag of flour, some baking soda, some butter, and some sugar. Like, we'll fucking make this happen. It's fine.
All right.
It's literally 4 ingredients. So, I mean, I don't even remember where I was going with this.
Dude,
I'm not
you
gonna
were
lie.
trying to dispel the rumor that you don't belong here because of your size
Ah,
by
see,
bringing
look.
up your culinary skills.
Because yes, I eat like a fat kid. I didn't just make like
He does.
I didn't make like one pancake. No, like, I admit we split the plate, but I had to get, like, the Thanksgiving platter out
Okay.
for how much food I made
It's
for
like,
two of us.
We can make pancakes, but we're making 30 because that's
Well,
all I know how to
whoa,
do.
whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. It wasn't just pancakes, it was chocolate chip strawberry pancakes with a
Okay,
chocolate
so you
drizzle
put some
over the
diversity
top.
in
We
it.
had some powdered sugar. We had
Now
scrambled
I'm
eggs
fucking
with
upset
cheese.
because
we had
you never make
bacon.
me chocolate chip pancakes.
Well, motherfucker, I
strawberry
don't wake up
pancakes.
with you, and that's a good thing.
Well,
The last time we woke up together,
to
it was
be
in a
fair.
room next to each other.
And that
the-
was in California.
Yes, and there
To
was
be
a
fair.
reason for that because Dooley wouldn't wake the fuck up.
So Dooley
I mean,
was there too.
It was like a year ago.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, it was.
Wait,
Yeah,
let's get
yeah.
back on topic. Vince,
That's a whole different topic.
What's your?
what is your weeknight go-to meal? You played a gig. You got to come home. Like I'm gonna say, I'm like you. Maybe you didn't play a gig.
I was gonna
because-
say now it sounds like a 3 a.m. meal.
Yeah.
What's your
Yeah.
3 a.m.
Yeah,
go-to?
like so,
Some of
like
them
you're.
are.
Yeah,
Wait! You have an answer? What was that?
I said some of them are 3 a.m. meals.
Oh, what?
Not the traditional 3 a.m. meals that some people have.
Do you have a traditional 3 a.m. meal?
Not in the customary way that you all would address that. However, I do have a meal like if I was coming home from a gig.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, and now I want to know.
Wawa is my best friend after
Hell
a gig.
yeah.
Amen to Wawa.
Now,
yeah.
I'm going to tell you, if I was going to make a Wawa run after a gig, or even in the middle of the week, I got to say their buffalo chicken quesadillas, pretty killer.
I was gonna go. Are you going wrap or bowl? But quesadilla.
No,
All
I
right.
got a buffalo chicken quesadilla. If they do it right, it's killer. I mean, that's the truth. It's,
I have to keep that in mind. 'Cause
you have to try it out. Now, their Italian sub is pretty
let's
good.
face it, a lot of us at this
I do
table
like their Italian
go
food.
out for the 3 a.m. meal,
Damn right.
or at least go to the kitchen for the 3 a.m.
Yeah.
meal.
Yeah.
It's debatable.
Usually, like I like Vince. You might not know this about me, but like I'm a closet eater, so like it's not literally in my closet, but like
Yes,
when,
it is.
When
Well, there's a pantry.
Don't beat around
Does
the
the
bush.
pantry count?
it like like after a long day of Team Fat Kid,
Okay.
like when everything shuts down and everything's clean, like, then I will be in my kitchen at like
Good save, sir.
4 a.m. like creating a meal that has no rhyme or reason. It's just like my go-to meal is like whatever's left over from Team Fat Kid, and how can I? Does it involve rice? I hope so.
Nice.
Because I eat rice like I'm fucking Asian, dude. Like
Can we say that now?
We can say fucking anything. This isn't regulated. Don't worry about it. So I'm gonna jump in though because we're getting a little off topic, and this podcast is going long. Which, Vince, I love that we can come up with this much conversation because
An
trust me,
hour 30.
we're not even halfway through our list. So I'm gonna
let's
jump
just
into it and
let's
say
jump to the question.
this is where we get difficult, sir. You have to give one up.
I have to give one up. All right.
You have to give one up. Chinese, Mexican, or Italian. And Italian includes pizza.
Bro, that's easy. Mexican.
Damn!
Whoa!
Easy.
Damn.
Tacos, baby, tacos.
I said it.
Whoa! Motherfucker
You
just
were
said
about to
his
get
shit
killed.
from Wawa is a quesadilla.
I did, bro. But you got to look at the whole body of work.
No. You just got
So-
killed by the producer
so-
right now.
I just
So-
want you to look at the producer's face real
What do
quick.
you?
Disdain.
I mean, you're talking tacos, burritos, quesadillas.
gotta
Like,
go.
what makes you choose that so quickly?
You got to look at the entire body of work, man. Like, so look.
Are you? I mean, you have to be a pasta fan
Okay, absolutely. First
Why does
off,
he have
the
to be a
first one that
pasta
stays
because
fan?
he
on the
chose
table.
Italian over Mexican in a
And
heartbeat.
the chicken parm, I got it.
So the Italian stays on the table regardless. Okay. Now, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, go to Little Italy. La Bella Vita Ristorante in Little Italy has got the killer lasagna. Okay. Now I would never say this to my mom, and I hope she's not listening, but it's really good. Okay.
Chances are you're good.
Yeah, chances are
I'm gonna need
she
her
doesn't do
phone number
she doesn't
so
do,
I can send
she doesn't
her
do
the link.
online podcasts, so I think we're all right. So I say that it is a killer, and now that we go to New York City, and that's like our designated meal. We love going there for that. So that stays on the table. Okay, you can't take that off.
Wait,
Now,
real quick. One more time. Can you say the name?
La Bella Vita Ristorante in New York City in Little
Dax,
Italy.
you got this?
Yep.
Put
All
that
right.
up there.
All
Man.
right,
They
we're
need some
good.
love. They are
Dax
amazing.
has memorized it. We're good.
Yeah, no, I just want to pull it up real fast so we
It's
can.
it's a really small place in Little Italy. Little Italy itself is small up there, but I mean we found it one time by chance, went there, and it's amazing. L.A.
Yeah.
Well, that's
La
Bella.
Vida Bella. Vita.
Yep.
Vita.
So we went there and they just,
VITA.
like, we were just walking them down Little Italy because we were trying to find somewhere to eat, and then some dude was like, "Hey, you looking for a place?" We're like, "Yeah, let's do it." So we sat down and we got lasagna, and that was like 5 years ago, and we still go there to get that lasagna.
Give me some Google images on this thing real fast, dude. Like,
See if you can bring up the lasagna because
Apparently we need lasagna.
because I'm telling you, it's amazing. So my life would not be complete without that lasagna or my mother's lasagna. Okay, now my mother's been making lasagna for me since I was a child, and it clearly shows that.
Add lasagna to the back of that.
Yeah. So that one stays, okay. And then Chinese, man, that's just my thing, man. Like I love Chinese. Like you can stop me from pretty much whatever I'm doing.
Dude.
All right, well,
like
Vince,
now that's the first picture right there. Like click
that looks amazing.
It tastes amazing.
So a second thing though, you're talking about Chinese. You just can't give up Chinese.
Yeah.
I am gonna bring up a subject because I'm curious. I am a drinker.
Ooh.
And Chinese is amazing when I'm drunk. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think I
is
really
amazing.
touch Chinese when I'm sober.
I wreck Chinese.
We have wrecked Chinese before, but I mean, realistically, most of the time I eat Chinese, I'm fucked up.
I feel that we should change
So
the Chinese.
I know that you don't drink nearly as much as I do.
Oh,
I'll
no,
go
no,
with
no,
that,
no,
sir.
no, no.
That's a fair statement.
Yes, a very fair statement. So what is it about Chinese that you love? Like,
The taste.
obviously,
Spare ribs.
Nah, man. Like,
what's your favorite Chinese food? What's your go-to?
I love a shrimp lo mein.
Okay.
I do. It sounds cliche, but General Tso's chicken. I mean, that's
Hey, it's good.
if it's done right. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a
It's,
spicy beef and
Yeah.
broccoli.
you know, shrimp fried rice. That's my thing. I love me some wonton soup. I've been eating wonton soup since I was a child.
Yes.
Egg drop.
That's
Egg drop, yeah.
always
Egg drop.
The blended version, egg drop wonton.
All right, I'm down with that.
Get
but
there.
Egg drop
Get there.
overall.
Egg drop wonton, they'll do it for you anywhere. Like they'll just drop the wontons in the egg drop soup. It's amazing.
So that's. I mean, look, man. I got to go for it. I mean, and
Right now,
I'm sorry.
order some
I'm sorry.
Chinese.
Like,
All right.
I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings about that. I know that you have disdain towards me, but I do nothing but deign you. Like it's there's nothing but deign there.
Well, so now we're gonna switch. Check it. MMA UFC.
Oh no! Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So we know you're a fan.
Who's your favorite fighter?
Of all time or current?
Current.
Well, now we're gonna do both because you brought it
Oh
up.
yeah. If you
Okay.
brought-
If we're doing current, I'm gonna have to go with my man, Frankie the Answer Edgar.
Ooh.
Oh,
Okay.
Yep.
Frankie has. It goes back to the Rocky thing. He's all heart. Okay. If you followed his career, he used to be the champion at 155 pounds. Okay. Now that's significant because of this. Frankie walks around at 158 pounds. That means he only cut 3 pounds to make that weight division. Typically, the people in that weight division will cut 20 pounds or so to fight at 155. So Frankie walking around at 158 pounds is fighting people at 175 pounds. He was the champ there. Took out BJ Penn when BJ was an animal. Beat him twice then. And then took out the next 3 guys. Okay? Finally, after he lost his belt in really close split decision, moved down to 145 pounds and fought Jose Aldo, who was the consensus greatest featherweight of all time. Lost the first one in a split decision, which was really close. Okay? Frankie is still undersized for 145 pounds. And just now, in the next 2 weeks, he's finally moving down to 135 pounds. So which is probably his natural fighting class. So if you think about the fact he won a championship in a division that's 2 divisions, 20 pounds heavier than where he's going to fight right now, that's amazing.
Did you watch last weekend? Like last Saturday?
I did not. I had a gig.
All right.
I read the play-by-play.
Aldo lost.
Yes, I heard.
He clearly lost. But
From what I read, I haven't watched it. I do own UFC Fight Pass, so UFC, if you're out there, you can send me some money for the plug right there.
yes, UFC.
UFC.
We're talking about you. Everybody needs a little share the wealth.
You're right,
Dana.
So Dana, send me some money, bro. But for real though, so I was reading play-by-play, and what it sounded like, it didn't sound like Aldo was out of the fight until he was out of the fight at the end.
At the end,
it sounded like he was very much into it. Into the 5th round.
Yeah, he was into the fight. It's like watching the fight.
Yeah.
He was in it the whole time.
Yeah.
At the end, he
couldn't do it.
Yeah, it just wasn't. That fight didn't kind of live up to like all the fights prior to that, like
Are you
on the
talking
card,
about
on the
Aldo's?
card,
Oh, on the card.
on the
Okay.
card. Like it was like we're sitting there, we're watching, and it's like,
But if you look at it though, look at the guy he was fighting. First off, that guy is a killer in his prime right now.
Yes.
This guy is a killer. Okay, he's on like a 6 or 7 fight win streak right now. Okay, Aldo coming off a bunch of losses, came down and was in the fight until he wasn't. He was there.
he was in the fight.
He was in the fight, so he was still competitive at 135, which is impressive.
There were a lot of good fights last Saturday.
I got a question.
You got.
What did you think about the Gaethje Ferguson?
No.
Oh my gosh! If we're gonna talk about that now, the wound is still fresh. So here's Tony Ferguson. I absolutely love him. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now Tony is crazy as anybody else I've ever seen in life. Okay. Now Tony was straight gangster for taking that fight after he clearly could have sat out and waited for Khabib.
Yeah.
Okay. Took the fight with Gaethje on very short notice. Gaethje just came in and had a great plan. Great. He came in and took it to him. I heard a quote, and I actually think it was amazing. He said, Tony Ferguson at the end of that fight looked like he fought Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
It was a great fight. Now,
Did you see him in the hospital just dancing around?
Yeah. I mean, Tony is that crazy. He took a beating in that fight and still is dancing at the hospital and doing his thing.
With his IV, just
Yeah.
holding one hand, just dancing
So
with it and
Tony,
shit.
Tony was coming off of, 13 straight?
Yeah.
And then you look at the pictures of the last 7 people that he beat down. I mean, they all left bloody and beaten.
Yeah.
He earned that fight with Khabib. He could have very well sat out and said, "I'm just gonna wait." It would have ruined everybody's plans. But he went and took the fight. Gaethje came in there, killed it. He went in there and won the fight. I got no hard feelings other than Tony worked so hard for so long to get to that spot, but stepped up like a man and a champion, really, and took that fight, and knowing he could lose everything. And he did.
What's your favorite weight class?
Man, that's hard.
Like, and I'll be honest with you, like, the weight class, I understand, like, it's by weight.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the weight class. But I don't know where the ends are, like featherweight, bantamweight, like heavyweight.
So typically they go in the smaller divisions. They're broken up by about 10 pounds. Then it starts breaking off above 150 by 15 pounds. So you got 155, 70, 85. Then there makes a huge jump up to 205, and then from 205 it's 265. The best division right now.
Your favorite one to watch is my question.
I'd have to say 155, the lightweights.
The lightweights?
Yeah, you're talking about Khabib. You're talking about Tony. You're talking about Gaethje.
It makes sense. I mean, they're heavy hitters. They're quick.
Dude,
Like,
if you look at, seriously, the top 5 to 7 in the UFC lightweight division right now, they're all killers.
yeah.
They're all killers. You can't say that about other divisions. 170 just fought this past weekend, right? So they're talking about the controversy between Usman and
Oh, that was a
Masvidal.
great fucking,
Masvidal. Okay,
great fucking fight.
great fight. He took it on 6 days, regardless of the outcome of it. Who's next? That's a big draw for him. Okay, Gilbert Burns earned that fight. He's going to be out for a little bit until that comes around. You look at Covington. People are like, yeah, we want that fight, but they're not like clamoring for it. There's nobody else that people are like, yo, we want to see that fight. You move to 155. Any of those guys,
I still, like, going back to Usman, like, them dudes are huge.
yes.
Like I was watching, I was like, damn, dude, those are big ass dudes.
Yeah.
Like, and just cut.
Yeah, they cut.
What was their weight class?
What, the Usman fight?
Yeah, Usman
that was
Masvidal.
170.
That was 170?
Yeah.
While we're on the subject of MMA fighting,
Yeah.
I know you do a little bit yourself.
I do jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
I'm not built
are
for
you,
that
are,
life.
are,
I know
are,
you're
are
not
you,
quite MMA.
Like, this is, yeah, like, are you still training? Like,
Well, I
with-
haven't a lot recently just because of the whole COVID thing. I've gotten on the mats a couple times to train. However, just with restraints, not restraints, but my time restraints really, with trying to work.
Like, I'm still trying to figure out how you squeeze that shit in with like 3 other jobs. Like,
Well, bro, it's scheduled out, and I do it when I can. You know, obviously it's family and work first, and then it's the fun stuff like jiu-jitsu. But I still do it when my schedule allows me to do it. You know, so I can't drop everything I'm doing and run out there and go train because I want to. I love it, but I can't do it. Right now, we're filming for the church, and we're doing services and trying to put those online. So we film all day Tuesday. I'm editing all the way up until Friday. By the time Friday gets around, I'm tired. I don't want to do anything. then it's family time over the weekend, and then we start the whole thing again. You know. So,
How often would you usually roll?
It depends on the work schedule again,
Yeah.
but I 1 to 3 times a week, depending on what the schedule looks like. Like when it's really tight, maybe once a week.
What got you into jiu-jitsu?
Well, back long time ago in the Stone Age when I was in college, our singles director at church used to teach submission grappling out of his basement, actually. And if you tell this story now, it sounds ridiculously crazy. But we went over there to actually...
Are you Catholic?
I'm not Catholic.
You're fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, damn.
So we went over there to watch a UFC fight, and I had never really heard of UFC, so I was like, let's go watch some fights, whatever.
Dooley, did you get shots fired in there?
No.
Of course not.
Continue.
So, don't worry about the light. Don't worry about it. It's good. So I go in there, and they go into the basement, and they're like, yeah, man, we got Match down here. He teaches submission grappling. I'm like, what's that? He's like, just fight me. I'm like, okay. I don't know what I'm doing. He's like, just come at me. So this guy wrestled me. I throws him around. He's like, yeah, you should try training with us. I was like, all right, whatever. So we go in there, and we started learning submissions and all this stuff. So I got into it, and I was real young, but I kept hurting my knee. And I was like, I don't want to keep doing this. I need my knees for the rest of my life. So I got out of it for a long time, and then right about when we got married, we got married like 11 years ago, but about 8 years ago or so, I was like, man, I really want to get back into it. I miss it. It was fun. And I just called up a gym, and I was like, yo, let's go do this.
What level are you at right now?
I am a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like middle management, you know. If you look at the belt system, it's white, blue, purple, brown, black. So I'm kind of in the middle.
So we're gonna like some more questionable UFC. Like, how do you feel about Conor McGregor?
How many Conor fans do you have on this podcast?
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably none.
If you are a Conor fan,
A lot of them are French, if it makes you
I
feel
like,
better.
I like
All right.
watching him fight. I think he's about the show.
Okay, Conor is a good fighter. Is he amazing? I do not think so. I think he has made a career of roping people into his game, which is psychologically amazing. He's pulled a bunch of people in there. But if you look at the trajectory of his career, he beat a bunch of tomato cans to get to Jose Aldo. He beat a bunch of tomato cans to get there. Okay, the title eliminator fight was against Dennis Siever, who nobody would ever argue would ever fight for a title. He beat him. It made Damon some money. He threw him in there with Jose Aldo. He knocked Jose out in 13 seconds. Lucky, really good place.
It looked like Aldo tripped into that.
He didn't. It was a well placed punch. Went in there. He took him out. Okay, it's fine. I'm not arguing that. So then supposed to fight at 155 for the title. That didn't happen. So he went up and fought Diaz at 70. Lost that. Couldn't get a title fight off the loss. So he had to rematch Diaz, which I think he squeaked by. He did not actually win that fight. I think Diaz did, very very slimly. So then he moved down and challenged Eddie Alvarez, who was not the most talented 155 champion, but was the recognized champion. Went in there, beat him because Eddie had something to prove. He got clocked, got taken out. Okay. What was his next fight at 155? Khabib. He lost that one.
Yeah.
Okay? People talk about him like he's this amazing fighter. He's 500 at 70. Actually, he's a little bit more because he beat Cerrone at 70. He's 500 at 55. He doesn't have the resume that says amazing fighter, long-term tenure to go out there and be the greatest.
How do you feel about the Conor McGregor Mayweather fight and then the maybe rematch?
I think that was all show. It was all money, and I think it was ridiculous.
I paid. Well, actually, Chris paid for half of it.
Good job, Chris.
Because we sat here and I was like, man, I don't know if I want to spend this
Were
fucking
you at,
money.
The
Vince?
12-second fight.
Well, no,
Mayweather
it went rounds. It
Oh,
went rounds.
this isn't that one. All right.
So at the Mayweather fight, I was actually playing at Wicker's Crab Pot that night.
Oh, okay.
And I remember because it was completely dead that night. And then I tried to live stream my gig, and like Facebook was shutting down all live streams. Like they were not
everything
yeah,
was
they
shut
weren't
down
letting
that
anything happen that night. So here's what I think. Okay, it was all about hype. It was all about money. People were going to make mad bank off of that. Do I think Conor was as amazing as everybody made it in there? No. He was a fighter that went in there. I think Mayweather carried the fight a little bit to make it more interesting.
Yeah.
And then he got taken out in the 10th.
Something like that. But like I'll give McGregor this. I mean, I like McGregor. I just like the show. I'm a fan of like.
Yeah, you can like the entertainment.
like,
part of
yeah,
it, that's fine.
yeah.
My whole
like-
thing was like he had the pinstripe "fuck you" thing.
Yeah, well,
like he's
well,
all
that
about
was
the
so
show.
long
Yeah,
ago.
it's a show.
Yeah, he's all about the show.
Like when they called the fight the Mayweather McGregor fight, they called it, and McGregor was like, "You should have let me knock me out." Like,
no.
like I mean, I feel like you should let Mayweather knock. Maybe it'll quiet him down a little bit.
No, it didn't. It didn't quiet him down. First off, it's from a referee standpoint, it's their job to protect the fighter.
Safety.
If you go back and watch it, he was getting pieced up. Okay,
Yeah.
he was against the ropes. He was tired, and he was getting punched a bunch. Okay, I don't care what your Conor fans say. Y'all can find me on Instagram, Twitter, whatever you want. Come say something.
Vince K music.
That's
Vince K
Music has
music.
pretty much
Just-
everything. Y'all can come find me and debate this if you want. If you know what you're talking about. He was getting pieced up. He was losing that fight. The referee, it's his job to step in there and for the safety of the fighters. Okay, he stopped the fight. You can argue that. Oh, I was just coming back. I was getting ready to come back, and we was going to get my second.
He was like, "You should have just let me."
No,
just put me lights out.
No,
Put me lights out.
You were getting pieced out. I think Jose could.
No.
I think Jose Aldo could have got up after that punch, but they called that one. Didn't nobody argue that.
Yeah.
You know, he went to the ground, but he rolled over as soon as that happened. So that's my thing. Like, yes, he got pieced up. He lost the fight. Move on. That was the thing.
All right, so it's time for more music.
Time for more music. All right.
Like,
I think we got one more.
Yeah, this is the last one, and then we have some more music questions.
Oops.
Don't break up, baby. Don't break her.
Yeah, I broke my baby up.
Yeah, I mean, you already dropped your camera. and-
Oh, I don't think I did that. If you check the tape, I think it was you.
Oh, I didn't.
That
touch
was
it.
right after the Philly cheesesteak thing, I
Shots
believe.
fired, Dooley. Where the fuck are you at?
All right, so what song
Okay,
we playing now?
so this is called "A Simple I Love You," and I wrote this for my best friend's wedding. He was my roommate in college for several years, and I always told him, I was like, man, whenever you get married, I'll write you a song. And he was like, cool. And then what happened was I sang the national anthem at our school basketball game one time. He was like, hey, dog, I'm glad you did well on that, because if you'd bombed on that, you wouldn't be singing at my wedding. So that's my best friend. So I wanted to write
That
this song.
sounds familiar.
I
Don't
know.
worry.
It's one of the things. Like I was like I already had the gig singing at his wedding, and then he was like, "Yeah, if you'd have messed it up, you wouldn't have been singing at my wedding." I
I
was
feel
like,
like
"All right."
that's me with catering. Like, Jason, you can cater my wedding, but if you fuck this up, it's no more
You're
catering
out.
the wedding. Yeah,
You're out. You're done, son. So yeah, I wrote the song for them, and it actually I really enjoyed it. And
Does it have a name?
"A Simple I Love You."
All right.
So and little did he know I wrote this the night before I drove up to Michigan to go sing it for him. So here we go. Two hearts on broad here, the simplest of needs. God made her help me when He made Eve. Lives have changed. Rescue me. It all begins with the simplest of needs. We're trying to find the words to tell you what you mean to me. Find that there's nothing I can say to you. It's a simple I love you won't do. Simple I love you. Two hearts are brought here. The simplest of needs. You are my helpmeet. And it's easy to see. The lives will change. Rescue me. It all began with the simplest of needs. trying to find the words to tell you what you mean to me. Find that there's nothing I can say to you. Simple I love you won't do. Simple I love you won't do. Simple I love you won't do. Simple I love you. Simple I love you. Simple I love you. Simple I love you.
Sorry, I was on music. I'm sorry. I was just making sure he sounded good. Beyond that, it
I
didn't
mean,
matter.
well, Vince doesn't need a lot to sound good. Let's be honest.
I need all the effects you have on that board, plus the voiceover.
Yeah,
Need some auto tune.
I'm gonna go. After this, I'm just gonna go sing all his songs in the office.
Yeah.
and we'll make it fantastic.
Milli Vanilli time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, man, fantastic, man. Like, we've been friends for a long time, and like I've always told you, and like like I'm a big fan of the harmonica.
Yes.
Like when you pull the harmonica out, is he even on?
I'm on. Yeah, I think so.
can't
I
hear
don't
him.
think he is. I don't know if I.
Check 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
It's just maybe it's just soft
I
because
did-
he's not singing.
Yeah.
Duly check his gain. I did turn his gain down during the vote.
Oh damn it!
I need
It's
all the
Alex's
gains.
fault. It's Alex's fault. He needs all the gains.
I need all the gains.
All the games.
But like I'm a huge fan. Like when you do the Blues Travelers and like you do like the whole kit and like with the drum machine and all that. Like that's when I get to see all of it.
Oh.
And like that's like no, I mean like you're an accomplished artist,
Thank you,
and that's my favorite. Like you know that. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
but we're gonna go way back.
Way back.
Way back to
It was a
begin-
Wednesday.
to the it's Tuesday It's tomorrow. You were in the marching band.
I was.
Is
Nothing
that
wrong
where
with
you
that.
started in the marching band?
I started just before that. I actually started in 6th grade. I played the trumpet and did that all through high school, and that's where
Yeah,
marching band
so
came in.
you play the trumpet in the marching band.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you were great at blowing through high school.
Damn it, Alex.
Wow, really,
God.
bro?
Yeah.
Do you think you were going to get away with this entire podcast without one joke? I mean, it had to happen at some point.
expected it.
All right, so
It's only going to get worse from here.
No,
Everybody knows
no,
about.
we're gonna move on.
Everybody knows about band camp. Trust me.
That's Alex.
Yeah, that's Alex. He's a dumbass.
So I know you play with full bands as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so can you talk a little bit? I know you play with Derek. Like, can we talk a little bit about the full band? The full Vince Kornegay band experience.
So
like,
whenever the band happens, it's like I liken it to like a unicorn or Sasquatch. It happens so infrequently, and sometimes there's pictures of it, but nobody really believes it. Nobody believes that it happens. So
Photoshopped.
I know, right? People don't think it actually happens. But what happens actually, man, I play with some very talented musicians. I know a lot of great folks in the area who don't get nearly any recognition for their skills and ability. But what happens is a lot of venues want to book me for the one-man band thing because it's much cheaper for them.
yeah, obviously, and
Yeah.
Like, and then you have like your whole kit going on.
Yeah.
Like,
I can totally relate.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's from a financial aspect. I completely understand it from the venue side of it. They're like, I can get this one guy with a bunch of sounds for X, or I pay Y and get all of these guys with no real return on investment that we're guaranteed. Yeah, I'm not like a DeLorean's out here or anything like that.
Right.
That know they're going to draw a huge crowd.
I just want to say, I remember when the DeLoreans were like $700, and now they're like $5,000.
I mean, they
Like,
pull in some serious cheese, but
They do. I'm not even sure about that quote. Nobody listening to this like quote me on $5,000. I'm just saying like they're
they're expensive.
They got up there.
They've been to the hotel.
Yes.
So they have we'll just say this: they pull in good money, but they
Yes.
put on a show and they draw a crowd. I can't hate on their hustle for that. Vince Kornegay doesn't pull that. Okay, so
Although I love your show, sir.
I do appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate you booking me all these years.
I want just more people to understand like how many things Vince Kornegay does when he's there, and like when he's got like the whole setup, and like he is literally a one-man man.
I appreciate it.
There's a whole drum line. There's everything.
I appreciate it. I try to keep the show fresh, but is that some guy on the street? But yeah, so what happens with the band is I try and sell people on the idea of doing it because I can do a full band. But they're like, but I can get you for this price. And then I look at my bank account and my bills coming in, I'm like, well, I guess I got to take that gig. But there's a lot of guys out there that are great musicians, but because they don't play the predominant instrument and they're not the front person, they don't get to work nearly as much. So they have to get work when they can get work. So there's guys like my man Teddy Moore, who's a phenomenal drummer. Honestly, I hate when anybody else is playing drums behind me when I'm playing out, because Teddy and I just click like that. He's a phenomenal drummer. But he has to get work because he's a drummer. Well, then he's relying solely on bands. There's saxophone players that I know. Dave Kreislerman is a phenomenal sax player, plays with Slap Nation and things like that. He plays with Family Tree sometimes. And there's other guys that I play with that have to be contingent on somebody else getting booked. And I would put these musicians to work, but I can't get that work because they're like, you know what? We're happy with having Vince in here with this amount of money and this much instrument. So,
Since you are a solo musician, like
Yeah.
how often do you get to play live? Obviously not right now. That's
Well,
not,
yeah,
that's not
yeah.
a fair qualification, but like in a general basis. Like,
Yeah.
obviously you're not necessarily such a specialist. You do cover a wide range of things.
I
and,
try.
And you play at a large venue of places. So, like,
Like, are you 7 days a week? Are you?
Oh,
well,
no,
I
I
mean,
can-
well, pre.
yeah, pre-COVID, okay, so it depends on the time of year because it depends on what kind of business is coming in. In the summertime, I've done as many as 7 gigs in 6 days before. In the summer, I could do about 3 to 4 gigs regularly because everybody wants music somewhere. Everybody's trying to draw people in, especially oceanfront properties. Little, small mom and pop places, they're like, hey, we're going to do music. It's going to be great. So I can get 3 to 4 weeks sometimes then. In the off season, you're talking about mid-October to probably March. I still keep about 2 gigs a week.
Do you have like a circuit that you run on like that like you have
every
those,
Wednesday is...
like I know where I can find Vince on a regular.
So typically the first Tuesday of the month, I'm over at Keegan's in Town Center. One of my favorite places to play. Absolutely love them.
You're welcome.
Love you, Keegan's.
I can say that too. I mean,
Yeah,
we
I mean,
both
yeah.
booked him there. Let's face
Yeah,
it.
they're one of my favorite places. So I'm typically there the first Tuesday of every month. But I have other places like AJ Gators. There's a couple Gators properties that I play.
Fairfield. I know you play Fairfield.
I was at Fairfield, but more of my time has been over at Centerville, actually. The Centerville property has been...
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Oh, good.
Legitimately good to know.
Are you there now?
I have taken that over as of like yesterday.
Oh,
And
wow.
also, Vince, I live like 5 minutes away from
Yeah,
you.
you came in before.
Although
Yeah.
you'd never know it if you had to get him home. It took him 45 minutes to get home the other night, and he lived 2 minutes away.
Huh.
I got home before he did.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're going to be
Thanks
over there
for
now
bringing
because
that shit up.
I was
Fire
worried
everywhere.
after Caitlin was leaving that
fuck
who was
you.
always
Yeah,
I had
no.
to catch the person.
Whenever
that
we
booked
get up and running, I'll definitely
Okay,
have to be
awesome.
in touch with you. But speaking
yeah.
of being in touch with you, I
Yeah.
want to touch on your Facebook, YouTube,
Yeah,
Twitter.
yeah, absolutely.
I know that you said Vince K Music
Yes.
is your tag name. Is that what social media platforms can people find you on?
So you can find me pretty much on everything. The Vince K music thing, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, what's the new one? TikTok, you can find that. Now, here's the thing, and I'm going to make my plea for those that are out here listening on Team Fat Kid Podcast. YouTube, I'm trying to get it changed over to Vince K Music, but you can't get a personalized web address unless you have 100 followers. I have 80. So if there's 20 of y'all out there that have YouTube accounts, go look me up under Vince Kornegay.
I think
okay?
we can make 4 of those happen. So
Right
you
now,
need
That's fine.
16
Then I
more.
only need 16 more, okay? But I can't change that over to Vince K Music until I have 100 subscribers. It's some really weird thing that YouTube has.
We know the feeling.
Yeah,
I got
can't-
81 now.
Yes!
What? Yeah, like I think we only have like 45.
Moving on now.
Maybe.
Who
Maybe.
knows? Our
But yeah,
YouTube is not strong.
I would appreciate it. So that one you have to look me up under Vince Kornegay. Okay, you have to look up under my name.
There's two Vince.
Can you
Kornegay.
spell
is.
that?
There is
Can you
two ones.
spell that? Because again,
Yes.
we need to get into divorce.
Delete.
Vince Kornegay at
YouTube that shit
Gmail.
right now, so we
Kornegay
can all
is
subscribe.
Kornegay.
So I know this sounds weird. But can you spell Vince as well?
Yes,
just in
Vince.
case someone can't,
Absolutely.
figure that one out.
Vince, Vince. Now, when you look it up, there'll be two different ones, and that was just really poor planning.
Yeah.
One was kind of like a personal one. I just kind of did. It was like videos of like my son when he was learning to walk and stuff like that.
Yeah, you got
There's-
41 on that one.
Yeah, that's not the one.
Ironically, you have more videos on that
I
one.
know, right?
Yeah.
Well, I started that years ago. Like, there's a video from me like 10 years ago.
We
doing
all
something on
evolved,
there.
don't worry, we
Right.
know. We know.
So the one of me sitting on the stairs with the black hat and a black shirt, that's the one I want people to go to.
Subscribe.
I appreciate that. So
We're climbing right now. Like we're doing work right
I'm,
here.
I'm going to check the numbers tonight and see what happens. I'm going to see if you Fat Kid followers are helping this other Fat Kid.
Check it tomorrow. It only gets posted later.
That's
tonight.
fine.
well,
I mean,
no, it's like 30 minutes
I'll
after
give
we're
you,
done.
I'll give you a window, but I would appreciate if I can get to 100. I can change the name because telling people to look up Vince Kornegay is really hard.
Vince K Music
Yeah.
does sound a lot easier.
Vince K Music is a little bit easier to find.
Just
Are you-
rolls off the
is,
tongue.
is it still available?
Yes, it's still, I hope it's still available.
Now, I
Otherwise,
do want to clarify though, like an easy way to contact you if anyone's interested in booking you
Yes.
is through your Gmail account, correct?
Yes.
And that's vincekornegay at gmail.com.
Yes.
So
They
again, VinceKornegay at
Yes.
gmail.com.
Yes, absolutely. If you guys hit me up there, email me. Preferably serious inquiries only. You know, if you're
Preferably, yes.
if you're
of
doing
course.
some weird party in your basement that nobody else is going to be around, no. But you know,
Hey, money's money.
money is money. But I'd like to be able to make it back home too. If it's one of those weird ones where it's going to be like me and you sitting in a dark basement,
You can still
I
make it
got
back
300
home. That's
I
just
got-
like a walk
I got
of shame
300 bucks,
situation.
Vince. I just need you to play in my garage.
I just want y'all to know, for anybody listening to think about trying that plan out, I put all my gigs into my phone, and that's synced to all the devices at my house, so everybody knows what's in my calendar.
There's a
and where I'm supposed
vlog.
to be.
There's a vlog.
So what you're saying is they know where to find the body after.
And they know where to come look for y'all. Okay.
Let's talk about the vlog because like you've done some amazing editing. Like,
Thank you.
is it a vlog? Is that right?
Right
Like,
now on the channel, I'm doing a lot of music stuff. I'm actually filming some stuff right now that I'm going to try and put up as the first vlog. This is my first podcast, so
I'm just talking about like your
Wait,
videos like on Facebook and Instagram.
This is your first podcast?
this is my first podcast.
Look at that beautiness.
You guys are my first one.
He sounded so professional, like he's done this 100 times.
Nah, nobody else wants me.
I doubt that.
Yeah, no.
You
no.
are married.
Check the subscriptions.
You are married. Someone
Yes,
else
true.
wants you.
Like,
Yes,
hey,
Ash-
you
Ashley
you might
took me.
be you might be getting them Zoom calls soon. Like,
Sweet.
hey, we can do it over Zoom. I don't know if like this is our first time doing Live Music Monday.
Yeah, all right.
Like we've never had an artist here to actually play.
All right.
So I mean, like we've Zoomed people from West Coast to here. Like we haven't gone outside the country yet. We're working on that. But one last thing. We covered the social media,
Mm-hmm.
but you did not bring up Reverb Nation. Is that still
Oh
a
my
thing
gosh,
here?
no, that is
Like-
not a thing.
Because obviously I do a lot of research before you get here, and
Apparently.
and there was a comment on your Reverb, and like you didn't even respond to the guy.
Yeah, I think I looked that one up a couple years ago. That was like, hey, we want to add your music to this, and I'm like, no, you don't. Like, you really don't. That's a scam. That's okay because those were horrible recordings.
But it's Reverb, man. Like you can just Google it, and you can still like you can just click on your picture, and there's songs.
Yes, there's some songs that I did little rough cuts of stuff years ago. Not great stuff by any imagination, or stretch of the imagination. Yeah, which is funny. If you look at that picture, that's actually I was auditioning for American Idol when that picture was taken.
How
I
old
didn't
are
wanna-
you?
damn, I didn't.
How
put that
old
down.
are you?
How
So
old was I there? I was 27
let's talk about
or 28.
Let's
That's-
talk about like we're gonna wrap this up with the American Idol audition
Okay.
experience.
All right. So that whole
How does that even work out?
Okay, that thing is absolutely crazy. People think it's like you walk in there and you're going to see, well, back in my day it was Paula, Simon, and Randy.
Yeah.
You know, they thought you just walk right into the celebrity judges. Well, it's none of that. You walk in and there's actually 2 days before the audition happens, you got to go register. So I predominantly went and auditioned in New York, which is actually New Jersey, but they filmed it as New York. So you go up to Jersey 2 days
Behind the scenes shit, sir.
That's right. We're letting all this stuff out. I'm bursting all your bubbles here. So we went to Jersey. You go there 2 days in advance, and you go stand in line for about 5 hours to get a registration band, and then they say, all right, don't lose this or you can't audition. Then you're standing around for 2 days doing nothing. You go back to the venue, and we did it. I can't remember the name of the stadium. So we go in there and
In a stadium?
It's the big stadium stuff. Like that's all that stuff you see on American Idol. Where everybody's standing in the stadium, singing and swaying their arms and doing all that stupid stuff. That's the initial audition. So you stand outside in line, waiting to get inside. Then you're sitting there. Then you're doing all the hamming up stuff for the camera. Everybody's doing the big waves. Simon, pick me. All that stupid stuff they make us do.
All the shit
Yeah,
that we
know.
hate.
That goes for like 2 hours.
Yeah, I wish.
Then they're
Hate
like,
that shit.
Then they say, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to call you down by section. So if you've ever gone to a stadium, they'll be like, all right, section 201, we're going to start with you. Everybody come on down here. So they come down there, and there's like 14 tables on the floor. And at each table, there's 2 junior producers, which I believe are summer interns.
Oh, yeah, the PAs.
They're
Yeah.
underpaid
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
yes.
the PAs,
Yeah.
man. The PAs.
They call them in, they're junior producers. So what they do is they put you in groups of 4, and you stand shoulder to shoulder in front of the table. And they say, all right, you're going to get 10 to 20 seconds to sing a song. Sing the best part of the song. They'll start you. They'll stop you. Don't complain and say you were getting ready to hit the big Mariah Carey note. They said if you were going to do that, you need to start at a place that you can get to it easily. So they're saying you next to each other. They say, all right. They point at you and say, go. Then they stop you. Go. Point to the next person. Thank you. Go. Thank you.
These,
go.
I want to note.
Did they give you actually 20 seconds?
It depends on how good you are and if they know you just suck.
I do want to say these are the like emotionless judges. These people don't
Yeah.
fucking. They don't.
Oh,
they
yeah.
don't
fucking
move.
Stone
care.
Cold Killers.
They
don't
just know it's stop, go,
Yeah.
stop. They don't fucking change.
They have thousands of people to see
And then
every
you're
day.
hoping that they said they let you go a little.
You
Yeah,
took
that's
that.
a
Good catch.
They,
That was
they let you go a little longer, and then maybe they wrote something down on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what you're hoping for.
So now I have a question.
Yeah.
A contestant 1003.
Who is it? William Hung?
Yeah. Okay. So
How the fuck that?
Is that is
So,
wait is
so
that
if that shit's true, you have 20 to 45 seconds,
Yes.
and they're like,
is that
Oh,
the
we
she
gotta
moves
put
guy?
okay.
that
So
on,
this
dude.
is where that phenomenon began. Okay. William Hung was like really the first one that went in there that thought he was okay, but sucked and got recognition for it. There were people that thought they were awesome and got clowned by Simon for the first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
William Hung came in there and everybody loved him because he was this sweet,
Horrible?
innocent guy. He was horrible.
But it
Thought
was
he
funny.
was good.
But it was fun.
But it was a good laugh, and he thought he was great, and it turned into a thing.
And he made $1 million.
I always really wonder how he feels about it. Like, yeah, you got rich, but you're
Right.
like
He-
fucking
He
joking
knows
shit.
he sucks at it. He just does he has a regular day job. He just did that and wrote that and caught a couple $1 million.
I mean, if that's what it takes.
yeah. So I mean,
I'm not mad at
That's
it.
what
do
it
it.
takes.
there have been people that I've seen at the audition. I remember when I went one time. This was in Jersey, and this guy came in, had the whole punk rock hair thing, was carrying a boombox, and I was like, all right, that clown. Well, then I saw on the show he made it, but that they let him through because he was a character.
Right.
Yeah.
So they let him through for that reason. So, yeah, you get 10 to 20 seconds depending on the song. Like, they'll cut you off, and then, I mean, pretty much. Like, I remember the funniest one was like the last one. They looked at me, and I was 28 at the time, and I was standing next to like these 3 16-year-old white girls. Okay, clearly I stood out in this audition. Okay, I'm 6'2", 260 pounds at the time, and I got 3 16-year-old girls next to me. I'm like, clearly I'm going to stand out compared to them. So I sang my song. I did my "Living for the City" by Stevie Wonder.
Can we get a little bit?
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we? All right.
We- Look,
we're gonna. Hey, man.
Worst
don't
case
own the
scenario,
rights,
they
I mean-
try and copyright it.
now,
We just say
yeah,
okay.
like, they'll say we'll
the one
cut
thing
off
is,
the last 3
ain't
seconds.
FCC regulated, and it's not on YouTube.
Yeah, but we
so
don't have
don't
the
go-
ass cap. But I just
All
want
right.
to. I just want
I'll
to.
give you a
I just
couple
want to
bars.
hear because. Sorry, I spit your direction.
I'll give you a couple bars. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just give us a little bit.
All right.
Go,
So
go, bars is fine.
Who was born in Hottown, Mississippi, surrounded by for wasn't it so pretty? So I did
A
that.
little soul
You
in
know what I'm
there.
saying?
yeah.
Put a little Stevie Wonder, little bluesy thing in there. And then he's like, the little girls were like, "Why do you build me up, buttercup?" And I was like, "Yo, seriously, like
Well,
I
hold
was,
on. I'm kind of impressed by the fact that they went with "Build Me a Buttercup."
I think it was
mean,
that. Yeah, it was something like that. But it was some real like generic song. Like it was,
Still, that's an old song.
It was.
That's not a new one. It's
mean,
not
I-
like.
I like it.
but that was one of them. I mean, I can't remember what the other two.
Surprised
But
they didn't just go with the whole, if I did it again.
it was a little late for that. They were too young for that one. So this is the reason it was my favorite. I got done with that, and surely I was like, "Yo, they're gonna at least I'm gonna stand out." And they looked at me. They looked at all of us just dead eyed, and they were like, "Well, thank you so much, but unfortunately, your voices just aren't strong enough for this year." I was like, "Hold up, dog." I said, "Hold up." I got to argue with them because you're just supposed to walk off. But I'm like, "Look, you can tell me you don't want an overweight soul singer on your show. That's fine with me. You could tell me we're just not looking for a 28-year-old overweight soul singer. That's fine. You want somebody
Don't
good.
tell me that my voice.
Yeah,
is
don't
good,
tell me.
though,
Don't
right?
tell me my voice isn't strong enough. You may not like my voice, and that's fine because I'm not for everybody. But this is what I do for a living. Like people pay.
I've heard you.
Yeah,
You're good, sir.
I appreciate it.
We
And I'm
heard
not-
him today.
And for those who are just tuning in now, I'm not being like egocentric about it. I'm okay. People pay me, and I work.
I'm pretty sure like 75% of this table counts as a narcissist. It's okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so they looked at me like, yeah, unfortunately, your voices just aren't strong enough, and I was like, wow, okay.
Show of hands. Who likes watching yourself on TV? All right, so Dooley's a liar. But other than that,
Yeah, Julie's a closet narcissist.
Yeah, it was very interesting, but the whole experience was fun. I've done like what's the other ones? I did The Voice once. They gave me a maybe, but never called me back. And then America's Got Talent shot me down twice. So
twice.
Twice.
Impressive on your commitment there.
look, I'm at a point where I say, look, if I don't have to inconvenience myself to go audition for the shows, I'll do them. But like when I was younger, I used to like take off work,
Go out of state, obviously.
Yeah, I went to like New York a couple times. I went to South Carolina. Like I was going to audition for these shows. Now I'm like, I don't even care enough.
Wait, well, we did the Great Food Truck Race.
Yeah.
And we never left Virginia Beach until they fucking gave us a ticket. I gotta say, like, one of the best experiences of my life is like doing the Great Food Truck Race with the Food Network, and like they killed it, man. Like we didn't want or need for anything, and like it was all like Skype. Like we just just be yourself because it's reality TV,
Right.
And us being who we are, and like, oh, you've never worked on a food truck? No, and they're like, hey,
Come on out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
they can like your personality.
yeah,
and bring
I'm
you on.
like we're just idiots.
We're,
like,
we're
this-
characters.
Yeah, like
We're
I
characters.
think that's kind of what it is. We're
Yeah.
just the characters. Like we won't bend from our belief of how delicious a pig is, and
Amen.
we stayed on that line, and we just were ourselves, and that's how the hell we ended up on the Great Food Truck Race. Like,
So, like I said, man, it was a great experience. It was fun to go out there and try it. But pop music is a young man's game. It's a very attractive person's game. Neither of which I am. So,
have you tried pop?
You were, sir. Neither of
And
you
I
were.
also think like IGT is very wow factored. Like America's Got Talent, like that one girl that was.
I like how you said IGT, but then America's Got Talent.
I know what he meant.
Whatever.
I'm
He
like
means
you
India's-
lost me.
He means India's Got Talent.
Whatever.
You
if
tried that?
I was gonna say, have you competed
Like
there?
you have that.
See that goes back to the whole I don't want to inconvenience myself to audition for the show.
I mean, if
anymore.
they give you a plane ticket, you might as well go.
If India's Got Talent, if you listening, you can send me a ticket. Send me an email to vincekornegay@gmail.com. And
That's
that plane ticket?
for real.
KORNEGAY.
But I need this on legitimate airlines, like ones that I recognize.
Delta,
Yeah.
America.
Yeah, don't send me something with somebody I never heard of before, because I'm not going.
You don't. What about Spirit? Does Spirit?
Nah,
count?
bro, I've never seen one.
You've never seen Spirit?
Never seen it.
Spirit's
Dubai,
like Spirit's,
Dubai or die.
Yeah,
Spirit is like the low
drop you in.
end.
yeah, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Okay.
So I'm not getting on.
But anyway,
What about
back to the
Virgin?
whole thing,
Like Virgin Airlines?
like
Never seen it.
You've never seen Virgin?
Nah, bro.
Like the
I've
we're
seen
talking
a
about like
commercial.
The airline, yes,
Yeah.
I got you. Big long
I mean-
white plane with Virgin written on the
I've
the
seen
tail.
a commercial
all right.
about it, but
I've
I've
seen it
never
on
seen the
TV.
actual
You've
plane
never
before.
seen
So-
a terminal at an airport for Virgin.
We
Yeah,
have,
like my whole thing was
I
like,
have to
It's
admit,
private,
he's
bro.
right.
This-
He's
they're
right.
like-
I have
they're
never
like the
seen
Uber
one.
of airlines.
Personally, I have never seen one. I can't argue with his logic there. I really can't.
I've never
Don't
seen
fly
Virgin
around.
Airlines
Right?
like when I'm pulling out in my Delta.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
that's
like,
that's
you've never-
taxiing. Like, and you see all the other planes. Like, you
I-
never see a
I've
Virgin.
never. I don't
yeah.
think I've ever seen a Virgin
They don't have
flight.
a
Yeah,
runway.
right.
But
That's
like,
why.
what I was saying with like America's Got Talent, like that one
They're like
deaf
Guardian.
girl that played guitar and
Yeah.
did the vocals on it, that's wow factor. Like,
Yeah.
and they have like random. But there's World's Strongest Man that put on like two like 30. What I don't know, fucking 1,000-ton fucking 1,000-pound
Back to superheroes now.
shit on there,
1,000-ton, yeah.
and then
fuck
put
yeah.
a 1,000 fucking pound boulder on top
Right.
of these tires on
And
two
yeah,
of them, and then
dude.
he put a fucking board on top, and then he started fucking singing. Like,
What are you even fucking talking about?
I don't.
He's talking about
Strongest
the
Man
wow
is where he
factor on
started.
shows. What attracts these shows to
Yeah,
have people
like
on there.
American
It sounds
Idol,
like
that's where I
Disney's
could see you
Strongest
being.
Man right now.
So now I just need Vince to put those people on his feet while he's laying on his back, strumming the guitar, singing.
This sounds complicated.
What I feel
And he'll
like
be
is
there.
a fair
Yeah,
audition process.
While we're speaking of Vince singing, I'll tell you what. I think we need to wrap this podcast up. We've run a good long time here.
we
Vince,
have.
are you comfortable playing us out?
Sure, I'll play you out.
I mean, original, non-original, whatever you feel like. You know what?
Like,
We're gonna
you
put
got
you on
us.
the
You
spot.
got us in here. Might as well get us out.
We're gonna put you on the spot.
We're gonna,
And
we're gonna
Dennis,
make up a theme song?
you ready as well?
hey.
Yeah, I'm ready.
If you can make up a theme song right now, I am down. Good luck, sir. We're gonna talk over you, but I'd love to hear your
Yeah,
attempt.
Let's go with the. I'm just going to play behind you while you guys.
That sounds
close
like
it
a
out.
plan. All right.
So then we'll go with that. All right.
All right, let's do this.
Thank you again to Vince Kornegay at Vince K Music. You can find him on most social media platforms. As always, thank you for listening to Team Fat Kid Choose the Fat. You can find us on Facebook at,
Team Fat Kid.
on Instagram at,
Team Fat Kid Nation.
on Twitter,
At Team Fat Kid 1.
on YouTube.
Team Fat Kid.
And as always, you can find us for your knife and apparel needs at TeamFatKidNation.com.
Remember, be creative.
Stay hungry. And don't forget to sharpen your knives.
Praise the Lord.